Hey, Victory. Alright. So, back after a very long... Oh my goodness, that is the wrong screen. Alright. Let me bring this up. Bring that up. Alright, I already set this. Thank you, Yamba. I set this to the proper screen. I thought. There we go. There we go. That's better. That's better. How was everyone's everything? I took, a little longer than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be like a week and a half. Ended up being 2 weeks, but that is like the longest I've ever not done something. So it's definitely different. But it was nice. It was nice. But I'm in this weird space where I'm trying to figure out Mortuary Assistant approach along with other things. You don't understand anything of your... That's a very good question. I don't know. I looked at some of it and did some work day before yesterday, I think. Like, I finally sat down on my computer for like the first time and did a little something, but not too much. Yeah, exactly. Mine was nice going to the cabin, because like I was saying, it was just, same people I see all the time, plus my brother and his daughter. That's basically it. It was like me, my wife and kids, my mom and dad, who again I see all the time in our bubble, and then my brother, whose wife is a nurse, and they they're very careful and everything. So we're like, okay, he and his daughter are coming, and so we went to this remote cabin place, and that was really cool. But the trip up and down was pretty terrible because obviously we had to stop at places to like do various things along the way, and it's just we're self quarantining now. We've been back. How long have we been back? We've been back. No.
Thursday.
Yeah, so yeah, almost a week. Half a week. There we go. We've been back, and so we got another week and a half to go before we can see our quarantine buddies. But yeah, it was still fun. It was definitely worth it. We were as careful as we could be, I think. And that is the most that is the highest risk thing we've ever done this year, is this trip to the cabin. So I think we're okay. I think we're good. But yeah. Now, for the game, I'm in kind of an interesting space where I'm realizing, like, I don't want to fall victim to making another long game. I don't want to spend a year making Mortuary Assistant and then, have it be like the subject didn't do great. Our Secret Below did definitely better. It made a lot more money than the subject did. Kohate didn't make very much, but we knew that. That this last year. But no, we got back New Year's Eve, so last year. But anyway, yeah, so it's like, while those did better, I have this gut feeling that this old school approach that I've had, sort of coming from AAA, of like, you start your project, you work on your whole project, and then you finish the project and you do the next project, like the big project scope thing. Like, it's obviously you work on your projects from start to finish, regardless of length, but I just don't want to do another year-long production and then have it yield the same sort of result. I mean, I've done that twice now, and it's been, okay, it's gotten better, but I think, I've mentioned Puppet Combo a lot on here, and there was someone who commented on one of my YouTube videos about their plan for some of the stuff that they're doing, and basically they were saying they were going to make a game a month and make like 6 different games and then release them over time and sort of for free or whatever, and sort of build up this following. And I was like, that's a lot of work. I'm not going to tell anybody that that's a bad idea or anything. It's more power to them if they can do it. I mean, you know, I've made things quickly before, but there was definitely something to their strategy that I was like, okay, I need to adopt some of that, and maybe I'm thinking about this stuff the wrong way. It's like maybe I need to work on these smaller things a little more regularly, because I was talking about after finishing Our Secret Below, I was going to work on Mortuary Assistant and do some small things, maybe game jams here and there, and I did the Tumble Garden like hyper casual game, which is still in review on Google with Google. But I think what I need to do is I need to look at Mortuary Assistant, and I need to gut a lot of the core ideas and just kind of rethink and just be like, okay, what was fun? Make that happen. Make it a more fleshed out, thought out version of the game. You still do all these different things, but I'm trying to make it so that the workload is not crazy and the goal is nothing insanely complex. It's just the experience. And so I'm going for like a mid-range thing. And then from there, I think it'd be a good idea to, you know, start making some small experiences where it's like there's one core memorable thing that happens in this small game, and I do a number of those and just try to rethink the way that I approach this stuff, because I don't want to keep doing the same thing and getting meh results, right? Like I had Mortuary Assistant prototype is a great example. You know, it was made really quickly and it got a lot of traction. And then We're Not Worms, at least the little trailer on YouTube, it's not up anywhere other than Patreon, but that got interest as well. And so it's like, you know, if I flesh those ideas out just a little bit to have just a tiny bit more like finishing power, then those could be individual little things that I could just give out and just kind of focus on building up a following, you know, charge less for them and all that sort of stuff. Take this approach of making more experiences that sort of get people to understand and know my work. Because doing these longer projects, no one knows what I'm doing the entire time, nor cares, and then I'm trying to get noticed once the thing is done. So just some rethinking. So that's kind of what I'm doing here now with Mortuary Assistant, where I think like it kind of hit me when I was working on the character. Like I finished here, check it out. Hey, Frontline. Holidays went well. Had good family times and everything. You know, best you can during this time of year. Let me continue on with that. Good. We basically made a bunch of fires and played a lot of card games like Munchkin and Unstable Unicorns and things like that. So here's the old lady. I had finished the low poly, unwrapped, baked. So here it is. But what I started thinking about was I'm putting this effort, and this is tough, but I'm putting this effort into making Munchkin's a good game. Yeah, but I mean, my brother hadn't played it, and he really liked it, so we ended up playing it a bunch. And that's really what we did. We drank and hung out with family, just, you know, me, my wife, my kids, my parents, and then my brother and his daughter. So that was the same before to people who are here just a little earlier. You know, I see my parents like every weekend, and we have our sort of bubble within all of this. And so the only addition was my brother, and his wife is a nurse, and they're very careful. So we were like, all right, this is safe enough, but it was still our like most risky thing the entire year. What was the drink of choice? I don't know. Bounced around a lot. Let's see. Number of different types of beer, but I also had I think I had some eggnog, I had Dark and Stormies, I don't know, I kind of just made whatever was available. Oh, you know what, a number of times I had hot chocolate with like either brandy or whiskey in it, so That was very fattening. So I didn't see her and Dad's. Oh man, that sucks. So, yeah, we actually, my wife and I, we had talked about this just. Hey, comms. We had talked about this just before we went on my break here. You know, we actually didn't want to do any of this stuff. We just wanted to stay locked in our hole. But you know, there was also like I had other family coming into town, like some aunts and uncles and stuff like that, and it was like, okay, we can either try to navigate this minefield of all my aunts and uncles coming into town to my grandma's place, who lives, you know, maybe well, used to be like 45 minutes away. Now it's like 2 hours away because the bridge is out, or more. But it's like we could try to navigate that for like a week. Yeah, she's here now working. Or we could suggest this cabin thing where it's just us and my parents, so the same people we always see, and then the addition of my brother and his daughter. So it's like, we're like, okay, that's the lesser of evils, so we're gonna do that. And it was a good way to get some nice family time while also avoiding a lot of potential like cross-pollination of like, because my entire, like, my aunts and uncles traveled to come here, which is crazy. Whatever, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, the cabin itself was great. It was, I think it was a good compromise for everything. So anyway, with this, it sucks because I put all this work into this lady, but then I'm like, all right, I'm going to need to rig and animate her. I'm going to have to make morph targets for any sort of facial animations and everything like that. And I'm going to need to do that for however many characters I want to have. In addition to that, I'm making the entire environment. I'm doing all this extra work, right? And it's like, well, maybe maybe I should start looking at, as much as it hurts to just stop, it's like maybe I should look at some other tools out there to do some character generation and maybe take care of some of that for me so that I'm not sitting here. Well, that's the thing, Nate, is like, I like doing this stuff, but I have to keep reminding myself that it's like, I'm not just an artist anymore. Hey, Jelly. Thank you very, very much, dude. But I'm not just an artist anymore, right? Like, I'm making a game, so I've got to do all the things necessary to make a game. And it's like, there are programs out there like what was the name of it? It's like, I think it's just like Character Create or whatever, or Create 3 or something like that. Plus some animation stuff that all together is like 300 something bucks. And it's like, I could generate some characters with that and animations with that, and it would take way less time and give good looking results. Make her a VTuber. And then I'm not spending forever doing that. So it's like some cash up front to basically save a whole lot of time, right? As much as I enjoy doing this work, and obviously I can do it. You guys saw me all make this stuff. It's just, I just don't know if it's the smartest way for me as an individual, a solo developer making something, right? Yeah, Character Creator 3. Yeah. So, I'll drive 4.5 hours to go home to, yeah. That's right, Frontline. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I'm doing everything. So this is what I was talking about earlier, where some of you may not have come in yet. It's like, I'm trying to focus on slimming this down, this project, and scaling it back a bit so it's less ambitious. It's already wasn't crazy, but what I was talking about before, it's like I had the subject and Our Secret Below and like these bigger projects that yielded, you know, the subject, not great results. Our Secret Below, better results. Kohate, not a ton of money, but we knew that because I made it in like a month or two or whatever. And it was only, you know, it's only like $5. But it's like, I need to focus on smaller things that I can use to package as a brand, right? So it's more about little experiences that sort of showcase the sort of things that I do and want to make. And they're still games, right? But they're just smaller. And think of like the Mortuary Assistant prototype if it had 2 or 3 weeks instead of 1 week, right? Where it's not something as fleshed out as what I'm building here, but it's interesting and has a cool experience. And so I think I need to build more things like that. And kind of then I can bundle things and throw them all together and give certain ones to people and stuff, and start really changing my mindset. Because right now, I was talking to my wife earlier, my mindset's still very much in that AAA headspace where it's like you have your big project, you start the project, you finish the project, and then when you finish, your advertising starts on the project, and then people buy your project. And it's like, well, when it's just you, that can work sometimes, but if I just disappear for a year and work on a game and then suddenly I'm trying to get people to notice, like, that's going to require some advertising muscle I might not have. So it's like, if I can start focusing on smaller things, that's going to be better. Now for Mortuary Assistant, what that means is I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a lot of the same ideas, but I'm going to scale them back a bit. And I'm going to sort of redefine what your goal is. Like, I think it's still going to be to exercise the body and everything, but I think I'm going to give you a time limit. I think I'm going to give you, like, what I was thinking was you have until basically the witching hour, which is in Western Christian culture, it's from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. So basically you've got until 3 a.m. to do this before you become susceptible or something like that. Store list. Oh yeah, Liam. It covered not just the store listing, it covered everything I spent on it and then some. It made a couple $1,000s, so it's not. It wasn't bad. I'm just saying that, if I look at what like let's keep using Mortuary Assistant prototype, because that's the most I would say the most noteworthy thing. The thing most people know me for, if they know me for anything at all, is the Mortuary Assistant prototype. And that took a week to make. And I didn't charge anything for it, and it still made $600 on itch. Now, that's not a ton of money, but I feel like those are important metrics to take to heart. And I feel like I haven't been acting on that enough, right? Like, clearly, I can make things quick enough and enjoyable enough in those amounts of time that if I stretched out a little bit more, I could probably get more meat out of it and like get something from it, right? So if I could pump out a bunch of those things and just make a collection of stuff that's all themed in what I like, and it gives me more chances to try different things and really kind of hone in on what I want to do and what I love, then that's going to help define my brand and everything as well. I get to package all that stuff and either put them all together in a anthology download that's like, a bunch of different games, stuff like that. So I feel like there's more there and something to explore, because if I don't, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to information that's right in front of me, Trying to pivot, trying to keep my mind sharp and not get bogged down in the idea that I need to take a year or more to make something and then hope people really like the idea or remember, So that's why I'm like, all right, maybe this lady needs to stop and I need to just pump something out in another program. But like I was saying, I think you're going to have until 3 o'clock, maybe. This is all hypothetical stuff. But I think what it's going to boil down to is you're still going to have X number of bodies to embalm. Right now it's 3. And one is the spooky body, right? And for each of those, you're going to perform the embalming process. Right? And instead of doing a whole bunch of researchy stuff based off of it, you're basically just going to have a task of recording that data into the computer. Just like any other data, it's basically it's basically like another thing on your checklist, just like in the prototype where you have those things you need to check off. You enter the data into the computer, and then from there, you would have to figure out what sort of, it should be apparent at that point which body is the haunted one, but you know, that's not guaranteed. So, but this is your haunted one, right? And then you'll need to figure out which sort of ritual. I think we're going to have X number of rituals that you can do based on the type of haunting it is. Or maybe it's not even haunt type. Maybe it's like name of a demon or something like that. And based on those, they're going to need different rituals. So there's your sort of like inspection-y or detective-y type figuring something out. So you do your ritual based on whatever that is. But now you're not doing a bunch of like, you're not going to be doing a ton of research on the computer, right? The computer's just kind of a stop to enter stuff. It's just another step in the embalming process, right? Of all the things that you need to do, and things happen around you, and based on the things you found on the different bodies and just everything that's sort of displayed to you, you can start to figure out from your tool, I guess, on the computer, or could be in books, whatever. We'll see. Probably on the computer because I've already built the system for that, or I'm close to having it done, where you'll be able to figure out what sort of ritual to do. And you'll have all the tools at your disposal already in the mortuary at some place to be able to do that. And then you need to figure out, I don't know if you need to figure out so much which body it is anymore, as much as which one, or well, yeah, I guess you'd need to know which one, because you're going to pull that one out onto the table, and then that's where you're going to do, whoopsies, your ritual thing. All right. So there's still similarities here, but I'm sort of mentally skipping this entire thing I was going to build out of like having to go through. Yeah, kinda. It's always been kind of like that, Megapixel, but nothing as in depth as that, I don't think. We'll see. I think it's going to be more like a demonology thing, where it's going to have like all these different demons that are there, that you can sort of figure out what to deal with. So similar, yeah. But now you're not so much pouring through a whole bunch of data and going to all these different sites and everything, or pages or whatever it would be in that database. May I ask a little more about Cohate? How do you find a balance between releasing smaller games, lower price compared to larger games, price hihigher, most turn profit on development time? What do you mean, how do I find a balance? Like how do I know what to work on, or how do I know what to charge for it? Cohate, if that's the one. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do some research frontline and really get into that. And decide how I want to display that. Because I'm thinking it may not even be on the computer. It may not be this whole thing. I'm thinking that I may just simply, again, have the computer be a stopping point on your checklist, just like, you know, getting the chemicals to do the mixture for embalming, doing the inspection and stuff like that. Each of those things on your clipboard checklist, it's just going to be another stop on there to enter that stuff in. And then you're good to go. And then you'll have, like, you know, books somewhere or something that you interact with that will, you know, bring up some UI, and you can flip through it and figure out what you need to do. No, Megapixel, I didn't see that. And besides, you can be inspired by a million things. Doesn't matter to me. How big is the map? You mean for mortuary system? It's not very big. There's an outdoor area and 3 rooms inside with hallways connecting them. Oh, and a bathroom with a little storage room. But so yeah, I think we're gonna just not even bother with the haunt type. We're just gonna have a demon type. It'll always be a poltergeist type deal with a demon. Because poltergeists are like, you know, the possession and moving things, and they're the most like messing with things in the real world around you. Oh, but anyway, Liam, for Kohei pricing. So I had made the subject, which is like $7.99, I think, on Steam. And I reused all the environment assets for that. I reused the monster. I reused a bunch of stuff. I built a lot of new stuff as well, but I made the game far more simple. However, I did add more lore and multiple endings, so it's really kind of weird because there's like more in Kohei, but I reused a bunch of stuff, so it only took me like a month and a half, 2 months or something to make. So I was like, I'm just going to charge $4.99 for this, because part of it is also to be a like an entry point game where I can just give it away to people and be like, hey, try out one of my games, you know. But I think given what I just talked about earlier, all that stuff is probably going to get refactored a little bit over time, just because I'm trying to really figure out, like, I think I need to adjust my approach. I think I need to go with a bunch of smaller stuff that sort of defines the type of games that I make and like. A lot of supernatural, a lot of like surreal kind of stuff that I started to touch on a little bit with Our Secret Below, but not all the way. It was more in style. I think I like this sort of stuff more though, so I think I need to build up that base, and I'll be trying to sew all that together. But that's why I want to scale this down so that it makes more sense. Now I already have 3 bodies. They already have all their different markings and whatever I want to choose. They already have the ability to have different like obituaries and other files related to them. Those things are going to end up being more flavor. Kohei made less than... No. Mortuary Assistant only made $600 on itch. But it's free, so it was really just people giving tips for the game, you know. No, Kohei made, I don't know, like I said, handful of thousands. Nothing crazy, but enough to pay back all the money I spent on it. You know, recover all the money I spent on it and then some. But it's not like living money either, you know. But again, I kind of knew that. Let's see. Kohei has made net of $3,000, so it's made about 3.5, and then, you know, that's gross, and so a net of $3,000. But hey, we sold a copy of it today. It's on sale. It's all on sale for like one more day. Like tomorrow's the last day. Maybe today, I guess technically is, because I think tomorrow it ends at like, you know, at like 10 or something. Oh yeah, Frontline, absolutely. No, I know. This is what's weird, and I try to make this point to people a lot when, especially on YouTube, where they comment about, it's not very much money, and I'm like, no, it's not, but I'm still technically a successful indie developer. How sad is that? Think about that for a moment. It's like, there are so many indie games that make $0, right? And they just never get noticed. They get buried. I mean, a lot of them are asset flips too. A lot of them are just kind of junk. So it's like it just, or they're like the, you know, first projects of students. They're experimental and they're just like, okay, I'm doing this to learn, but hey, why not also try to sell it? It saturates the market, but I get why they would want to put it out there just to see. You know, you're 14, you make your first game, and you're like, oh, maybe I can get rich off this, right? And so you put it up there, that sort of thing. And maybe you do sometimes, but yeah. Spend more on it than it's brought in. Which one is that? Is it Manifold Garden? No, I know that he's probably doing well. He's also on the Unreal Store. Reborn, haven't heard of that. Those lucky bastards, right? But yeah, I mean, you know, it's not insane money, but you know, this year, so okay, just to put it this way, because I'm, you know, I'm open about this stuff. Last year, I think with or well, I guess when the subject came out, I don't know, we're in 2021 now, so I don't know what year I'm talking about now. whatever, the previous large chunk of time iteration that I'm thinking of off of the subject made a total of like, ended up being like a total of like $8,000 or something like that. But then with Our Secret Below, and to a lesser extent Kohei, I think it was like $3,000 from that. You include the Kickstarter for Our Secret Below, you include Itch and things like that. I'm looking a little over 25 grand or something like that this past year. So you know, it's not tons and tons of money, but it's growing, and it's growing a decent amount, which is why I want to keep trying to pivot myself better in the direction of like, all right, I'm hitting something that people are liking, but I need to get out there more. Well, let's hope. I think it's possible. Anything is possible, Frontline. If the changes I'm making lead to more successful things and it keeps building up, we'll see. Who knows? Then I can be one of those people that talks about how I gave it all up and left AAA to become an indie developer, and then I was successful, but I don't know how. Mostly because of luck, I guess. Thanks for coming to my talk. That's pretty much what they all are. You're welcome. Thank you. But I feel like that's what so many of the indie GDC talks are a lot of like, oh, and you can too. Not all of them though. There's some great ones about was it one of the Vlambeer guys? I forget. Was doing like iterative, like how to make your game more like impactful with like little things like screen shake and things to amp up the juiciness. And there's another group of developers that did the juiciness talk specifically, where they kept adding little things like squash and stretch animations and sound and all that sort of stuff. Was great. Do you think having AAA experience made your indie titles more valuable? I honestly think that's why a lot of indies don't make it, because there's some sort of lack of knowledge in the system. Maybe. I think it helps me finish projects. I think that's a big one, and I think it helps me have a less attached to my work kind of mindset. Like I love all the things I'm making, but at the same time, like I'm not afraid to destroy something if I have to. Like what I've just been talking about, Mortuary Assistant here. I'm going to be dumping some of the stuff I've already written. I mean, we were talking earlier, I'm throwing away basically that ZBrush model I did of the old lady to opt for what is a more, I think, long-term viable solution for creating stuff as a developer, as opposed to just making stuff as an artist, right? So I think that stuff helps, and also in AAA, you know, I started out as an artist and I moved up to a lot of management kind of stuff and team lead stuff, scheduling, while still making art and polishing and lighting and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, Hilarious Maxim, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for using your Prime here. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I think it lends to that. But I guess on a quality level too, like I've been around doing this stuff for a little bit longer, so I can make something and go like, that looks like shit. You know, whereas like someone who's just starting out may make something and be like, that's so cool, I made this, right? And they're rightfully excited, right, to be excited about an achievement, right? But at the same time, they may be sort of blind to how it looks to the rest of the world. And I think I'm at a point where I can kind of look at things and call myself out on bullshit, on my own bullshit, I mean. Yeah, Roads first. Yeah. So I think where the value comes into things like this, where I'm restructuring all this stuff here, I think that's where that value comes from, if you know what I mean. Oh, this isn't the brush I was using. This is what is happening. There we go. That's it. So the reason I was having the time cut off was to have something for you to race against, because you do have, I have the idea of, what did I call it? It was, distress, where you essentially become more susceptible to being possessed. Is pretty much it. So I think maybe I'll stick with that instead of the time thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a mix of both. I'm not sure by day. I don't know what my hobbies are. You mean both? I don't know if I have hobbies anymore. I just do this. Thank you very, very much. You watched Chainsaw Massacre yesterday? It's so good. I need to do... There's a couple things I need to do. I need to play... These should be my New Year's resolutions, though I tend to not do New Year's resolutions. I just am more of a fan of trying to just make myself do stuff when I want to do it. But I need to play more games. Things like my wife and I were talking today, and she brought up Five Nights at Freddy's, and she's like, well, what happens with this? And I'm like, I don't know, I've never played it. I'm like, I should absolutely have played that game. So it's just stuff like that where I'm like, you know, I'm so into this, I need to separate out a bit and try some other stuff. And like I love a lot of my inspiration comes from like movies and like just creepy real world events and stuff, you know, or based on real world stuff. Like I watch a lot of Slapped Ham, if you know who that is on YouTube. It's all just like spooky ghost footage stuff and everything. Like I love those sorts of things, and so I'll pull a lot of inspiration from those, but I also have not played a bunch of games where I can be like, oh, I really like that idea, I should do something like that, you know. And I definitely need to. Looks like your hobby is music. Oh no, that's so a long time ago. I haven't touched them in forever, because this is what I do now, right? So this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's part of my problem of not being able to do anything other than game development. Like I'm kind of in this, like, some people have a problem where they don't have the motivation to keep working. I have an issue where I don't have the ability to stop. And I definitely need to develop that. Scare theater is nice, cool. Because yeah, I used to play a lot back in California when I was still working at studios, right? It's like that's easier. And I actually used to hang out with some buddies, and we would play in my friend's garage, and we've had a list of songs that we were, you know, getting down and everything. And that was fun. Wish I had that problem. Yeah, well, it can be damning as well, because then you hit a point where you're like, I need to finish this thing, and you may rush something. So I need to balance in the other direction, where I need to pull something back and kind of I need to be much better. My art director at Disney was always like, well, let's take a step back and look at this from further away. That's like what it always was like. Anytime where I'm in the mindset of like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to get this done by this time frame that, you know, one of the producers set, and then he's like, well, let's get a high level view of this, a step back. And I'm like, step back, we need to get this shit done. But he would do that, and it would always work out for the better. He would get everybody together, and we would always, you know, kind of workshop it a bit more and come out with a much clearer idea, and it would get done faster. I'm like, that is something I have always been like, I'm able to do it, but not to that level. Like, I can still get lost in things, and I need to be better about it. Not sure how it missed you. It can be good. It's just you got to learn to tame it, and I don't think I am 100% great at taming it yet. I've always been that way, I think. Frontline. I think I've always kind of been that, like, constantly, I think it's like a self-motivated kind of thing, where it's like, you know, I started messing around on computers when I was like 14, 13, something like that. I started doing like skins for Unreal Tournament and like making levels in the Half-Life editor, Hammer, like started making levels in there and in Unreal. And like I was teaching myself 3D, and I was working in RPG Maker and all these different things. So I've been kind of pushing myself to do stuff since day one. And when I was in school, I got hired early. I didn't finish college. I got hired early out of school because I was, I think because I took time outside of class to learn stuff and make things and post stuff places and get feedback and everything. Apollo. No, I haven't. So many good movies to check out. Is it on a streaming service? That usually helps me to actually see something, as if it's available on a streaming service. So, all right. If you have this ritual you need to do by the witching hour, you do it before then. And you also need to maintain your your distress to make sure you don't become susceptible. It kind of becomes weird though, where it's like if you don't do what you need to do by 3, you basically become what I guess fully susceptible to being possessed, because now the demon is like superpower. Can link you the real demonic ritual from... Yes, please do. Please do. I love all that stuff. Actually, if you can do it here, but if you can do it in Discord, like a DM or something there, or even a DM on Twitter, I'll like that is something that I can check anywhere and I can watch at any time or look anytime. There will be plenty of that sort of research though. I've done so much like building the groundwork for systems. I haven't gotten to really dig into the spooky. I did a little bit of the haunt system with the doors and the windows and the lights and stuff, but I need to build out that whole thing. Sport, man. Yeah, see, I didn't get into any form of programming until I was like 22, 23 maybe, and that was only for a short period of time with Unity, with like Java, and I made like one little poopy mobile game, and then it just sort of fell off the radar until a couple years ago when I started doing C#. So that's why like I just make, like, I don't do full-on programminess. I just do what I need to make games. If you saw my code, you'd throw up. All right, so we're going to have a certain type of demon haunting these fine people. And how will I make that? I was going to have like personal belongings on these bodies and stuff and like all these things, but maybe instead what I'll focus on, I think that's going to be better. I think what I'll focus on is the events that happen around you. Things you need to, like, things that get written on the wall, or like maybe I'll have you go look at one of the, you go into the morgue and one of the other bodies is sitting up and on its back is like a scarification of some message, and like that's something that you need that gives you some information, that sort of thing. So I keep you in the world as opposed to having too many like other things you interact with, because I think that was my problem. I was sort of at this, like, you're at the computer looking up all these different things based on the stuff you found on the body, and it's like that information is going to be useful, but I don't want it to be like what you do. So I think it's going to be events that happen that will drive it, and that'll keep the spooky going all the time. So okay, cool. I started in UDK, Unreal 2, back in sophomore years in high school. Programming, I actually wish I could force myself to learn. Maybe my mood is just... Well, I was away for a long time where it was like, okay, I can't make games until I learn how to program, and I can't learn to program until I have more time. And that was this sort of awful situation where I just never started because I was like, I'm never going to be able to do it. And for me, it timed out for me. I worked with another indie developer to make a different game where I was doing art for them. And towards the tail end of my time working with them, I started learning to program because I was like, now's the time. And then I just started that's how the subject came about. I started messing around with like, how do I do first person controls? How do I make a door open or close when you go into the room? How do I make something work when you press a button, right? And I just do those individual things, and that formed into something you could play eventually. And so I tailored that into a game. Where do you get feedback if the where do you get your free feedback if the creepy stuff really hits? What do you mean in terms of like, where do I get my feedback? Definitely have the time. It's my mood. All I could say, Frontline, is all I could say is just do baby steps, small stuff, just like what I was just talking about, where I didn't focus on an entire game. I was just like, I think the first thing I did was making VFX spawn when you clicked on an object in the world, because I was looking at like stupid cookie clicker stuff, and I was like, okay, I want to, when you press the button, some VFX are going to spawn. And so I did that, and I was like, okay, cool, I figured out how to trigger something. And that gave me a little bit of a window into how to handle programming for like spawning stuff and making things happen that way, and how you could interact with something by clicking. And then that unrolled into other things where it was just small stuff. Like, do you play and evaluate yourself? So I do, but it's tough because scary things aren't really, like, scary things in my games are not really scary for me anymore. I can tell if something is going to be, I guess. But if I play it enough, there's only so many times I can see those things. This, I think, will feel a little different because it's going to be random-ish. I'm scaling that back a little bit, but there will be some. Because I'm like going to need to rebuild, like, I'm going to keep the profile building stuff that I currently have, but I'm going to make a much more solid, like, contiguous through line for the haunted one that's going to be more like, which demon is it? And based on that, these things are going to happen, you know? Yeah, so Frontline, what I do is just set a goal of what I want to learn, as opposed to like, I'm going to make a game, or I need to learn how a for loop works, right? Or anything like that. What I did was just, I got Unity, I went to Unity Answers, and just started typing things in that I wanted to learn. It was just like, how do you move an object by pressing W? And you know, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got code and I copied and pasted it and tried it, and then I looked at it and was like, why does that do that? And tried to figure it out, and then I would write a variant of that. I would change something, like I would change the direction it travels, or the speed it travels at, or something like that, or the button it uses. Just little things to help me understand how it actually worked. And then I got to the point now where it's like, I can write my own stuff pretty regularly. I mean, I do it on stream all the time, obviously. So, you know, you get there, but you just got to do those little baby things. Yeah, and see, Maximilian, for me, I'm not a great tutorial guy. Like, I've done plenty of tutorials, sure, but they just don't stick with me. Like, I can follow a tutorial, and then when I'm done, I kind of like come out of this tutorial haze where I'm like, okay, this works, but why? And what does it do? And how do I use this in my own way? Like, if I want to do this again, I don't think I would be able to, you know? And I'd have to do the tutorial like a million times and read other things to really understand what's going on. Whereas if I do it myself, I'm very hands-on. I think maybe it's the artistic side is more hands-on, probably a little more visual. So I need to be breaking things and de-breaking them to understand them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people are great with tutorials. I am not. Oh, here, so check this out. So in the system here, I've got the night shift now, and you can see it gets populated with each of the names. But the way that works is once I have entered all the data in, once it's done and I hit submit, it'll show up in the night shift. And so then I'll have, you know, all these different things, where this is going to be like the obituaries and any relevant information and pictures and stuff like that. Again, this is what I was talking about earlier. Some of it's gonna get scrapped, some of it's gonna get cut, and yes, so there's a list of names. These are all just stupid ones I made up. That's why we have Scoop Tumblebomp. But I'm gonna generate like a big list of first names and a big list of last names, and they get thrown together and create different names, right? Like Ann Darkbottom. And then when you work on those, then and do all the things in here that you're supposed to do, all your inspection stuff, then you'll be able to go over here, enter it into the computer, into the database, and then once you've hit submit whatever you've found, then you can go on night shift, and then the name will show up. What percentage of this complete? Oh, I don't know. It's really hard to say. Because, I mean, I've got a bunch of systems stood up, but I haven't done anything with them yet. So it's like, I still need to make a lot of art. I've got maybe, 30% of the art done. Not even, maybe. I'd say maybe if you really wanted a number, maybe 25%. I've only been working on this for 2 months. So, I've only done, yeah, all this, like, all these models, all this everything is 2 months of work. So let's see. You have all your different things you're gonna need sitting around here. What's the point of the car? It's where you get your flashlight, and it's also where you charge your flashlight. Though that was also something I was thinking about. I'm like, do I need you to go outside? Do I want to rip out outside? And then I was like, I've got it, and I can do some things with it. So I should leave it for now, and we'll see. At the very least, there won't be a point to it. Like, the worst case scenario is there isn't much of a point to going outside, except you can go outside. And I think people will still appreciate that, but, So, at this point, I have you inspecting everything, recording everything. Now, here's an issue that comes up. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I really like how it feels to go into the place. And I do want to have some scenarios where, little things like you get in your car and maybe there's something sitting next to you. Or, like, you look out the window and there's, something standing out there, like, waving at you and stuff like that. Like, I want to be able to have those moments. And so I think it would be cheap to do that and then not let you be able to go outside, Yeah, like that's all part of it, Frontline. But it's like I'm saying, like it wouldn't play a major role, but at the worst case scenario, it doesn't play a huge role, but you still get to go outside and there's still some things you do out there. All right, so if you need to record everything, I don't know if you found everything or not. And you hit submit, and I would still show you everything. So what keeps you from just submitting the name and age in and just being like submit, and then you get them into the system and get their information? It's more flavor at that point. It's more like I'm saying, I'm kind of treating it as another stop in the things you need to do. So I think it's less so now about, being accurate and using that information as it is just like doing the task. No, I heard, yeah. What's it about, Yambo? Exactly, frontline. It's just it's this illusion of freedom kind of thing. All right. So you get your body, you inspect, do the embalming. So there's a little eye step in here. You embalm. Oh, and actually data comes from there. So it's get your body, inspect the body, embalm, enter the data in, and then embalm. And then return to cold storage. Now, you do this times 3. But 3D. Okay. So it's like a weird horror experience based around that. So things start happening around you. And I guess here's the weird problem is like, when do I ramp things up? You know? I guess I could just take all your tasks as like kind of a loading bar. So it's like as you complete each 3 or steps or whatever, things start to ramp up. Maybe I have events that happen around a certain body. I mean, it becomes pretty obvious which one's the haunted one, but I think it's not about which body is the haunted body anymore. It's more about which demon is associated with it. I mean, you do need the appropriate body, I think. And that could be the like you're gonna perform a ritual. Hello, dog. You're gonna perform a ritual on a body, so might as well be the right one. So you do need to know which one you're gonna be performing it on. So a couple things you need to do. Based on the events happening around you, you need to figure out which demon it is and which body the demon is linked to. I keep trying to keep it simple and figure out how I can tone that back. I hate when that stuff happens, Megapixel. My undo and ZBrush like stops working 90% of the time. So I'll just like be working and Control Z doesn't happen anymore. And then it's like, okay, let me restart ZBrush, restart, still doesn't work. Restart, still doesn't work. Son of a bitch. Oh, you know what I need to do? Hold on. Here's what's gonna happen. I was talking about Character Creator 3 and everything for that. I need to do this real quick. Here's what I need. There's just a sale going on right now. And it's expensive shit, so I need to pick it up before I forget. What was the name of it? Oh, what was the name of that thing? No, what was the name of it? Yeah, it's Character Creator, but I need to get the actual... No, don't start it up! Oh no, we're gonna crash. Also, there might be boobs. Let me get onto the bottom. There we go. Okay. Because there are 2 things I need. Best friends now. Basically, I need... Minx, thank you very much, Paul. Death Stranding is $29 right now. Oh, hell yeah, Yambo. Yeah, I would. I would totally get, if I had that sort of time, I would buy it myself. Oh, sure, she's got underwear now. No, don't stop. What? Ah. Okay, hold on. And I have to get, okay, I need Character Creator 3, but I also need, what was the other one? What's the name of their launcher? Oh wait, Realusion Hub, there we go. So the other one is iClone 7. Because that's the one that has the animation stuff.
So we're best friends now.
Add to cart. Oh, this is an expensive one. This is an expensive purchase. It'll be worth it though. It's for more than one game. Pom-Paw, thank you very much. I didn't view the material on Discord. Careful, they say this stuff is the real deal. Damn, okay. Okay, so we got iClone 7, and then I also need Character Creator 3. What's in here? Okay. Character Creator 30. Ooh, this is a hefty purchase. Okay. $300 total. Honestly, not that bad for it's like standalone license stuff. And I can potentially, or will after this. It sucks because I'm like, I'd like to try it for longer, but there's actually a pretty hefty discount right now for 3 more hours. So I'm like, I need to. Just kind of sucks. It's like, you know. So now I'm basically like, I will learn this, and this will be my method. But I think it's a smart thing to do. This is me setting aside some of the artistic mind and passing it on to something else so I can kind of, you know. All right, nobody look, I have to put in information. I know you guys can't see, I'm just saying that. You guys are gonna start seeing some short games with a lot more characters. But this was the value of Kohei. So it brought in a little bit extra to be able to do this. Listen to the keys he presses. I totally, you made me totally check my card though, Russ. Hold on. Okay. Well, let's just refresh and let me do my thing. Okay, yeah, I got activate product options now, so let me close this out. Character Creator 3 and iClone 7. Oh god, it's gonna make me uninstall and reinstall a version. OnlyFans is really expensive, that's right. I'm doing more pivoting and being, you know, like, I make video games and not just art, so I need to, as much as I have loved making the old lady and like sculpting and ZBrush, baking that stuff out, I would still need to rig it and create lots and lots of morph targets for facial animation and all sorts of stuff to turn it into a character that I need. Or I could spend the money to get Character Creator 3 and iClone 7, and then I can do all sorts of animation, including facial capture animation from like my phone, and use the morph targets that are generated in there to do lip syncing stuff and all kinds of things. So, you know, it's just the right thing to do. Do you think learning is learning, or doing certain things is not valuable to your career? Like, I'm in aeronautics and there we go. The game's obviously a passion. I think if you enjoy it, then it has value, you know? That's where I'm at. You know, there's one of the things I'm going to be picking up soon because I thought was really cool, and now that I've done a little bit of programming and I'd like to dip into it a bit, was doing stuff with Raspberry Pi and Arduino stuff, because I have a 3D printer, and I think I would love to do like some simple little like silly robotics stuff. You know, I was just saying I don't have a hobby and I need to be better about breaking away from work and having more of a balance. And I thought it'd be really cool to try and get into some of that sort of stuff, you know? And is there value in me learning that? I'm probably not going to become a robotics technician or anything like that, right? I'm not going to go work at Boston Dynamics, but I think there's still value in learning it because I enjoy it, right? Hey, yeah, I've got, what kind do you have? I have an Elegoo Mars, so it just makes little stuff. But yeah, making like action figures and miniatures and stuff like that is definitely some of the goal. Number 4, if your security code was a Pokemon, what would it be? Resin printer, hell yeah. Yeah, that's what the Elegoo Mars is a resin printer as well. Hold on, let me see if I can activate this now too. Activate product. Oh geez Louise, it's gonna make me install that as well. Hold on everyone. Sorry. I didn't expect this to happen, but I needed to get this out of the way like I explained. So detecting the characters in use? No, it's not. It's super not in use right now. Whatever, I'll let this other one finish. There's no holding, we're impatient. All right, but hey, there's stuff now. I can, I spent the money. It's here. I can do it at whatever point. I already did this. Please let me do this again. Come on. Oh, there we go. Make this official. Give them my information and actually create an account. I use my printer again, but the electricity bill is it depends on what you're running. If you're running like a garage size 3D printer to print an entire vehicle, then yeah. Probably. What is this? What is this? Reillusion. Hell yeah. There you go. Go into full-on cosplay. Oh my gosh, don't ask me to do this anymore. I'm uncomfortable when this is how I log in. There we go. Okay, cool. They do exist. It does exist. It's all there. Okay. All right, cool. There's character creator. Good. It's all there. It's all there. Do. My account. Cool. Cool. Hey, this thing just assumed my gender to female. Interesting. That's cool, whatever. I'll be a lady if I can make characters quickly. All right, so for all this, what do we need to do then? Because what we were planning out, what is this? What am I doing? Oh, it's installing. It's still installing. Everything's installing. There's nothing that's not installing. Everything's here. Back to our chicken scratch because it's the only thing not installing right now. As part of work, I use an Arduino at a press me button to my tie. Awesome. Okay, there we go. There's that. Now I got to do this one. It's gonna actually let me remove it now and do what it's supposed to do now that the other one's not running. I just want to get them working. There is no other version of Character Creator running. What is it talking about? This thing is being stupid. Stop being so stupid. It's super not running right now. Oh wait, there's something here that's dumb. What are you? Go away. That was strange. Alright, whatever. It's doing what it's supposed to do now. Well, the jobs applications, the gender tab will be thrown out in a few years. Yeah, I don't understand. Well, it says help us support you. That's under their, like, not important but personal information. Alright. So, I think we don't worry about the time. Because things will keep happening, and we'll make your distress go up. It'll be sort of a time limit thing-ish to start, and then we'll work on it from there. It'll be like a sort of a non-like time of day related time limit. We'll move from that. Okay, so there we go. I've got them. I have them both. I will not use them right now because there are boobies in it, and as we all know, Twitch will clutch its pearls to dust if I accidentally have boobies up on screen real quick. If not too forward. Mercy me. I use a Cintiq 22 HD. It's about 1 million years old at this point, but it's still going strong. I love it. All my nice things are remnants of my successful AAA past. Except for Character Creator 3. That's new. That's bought by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Boobas! Dicks and boobs, and no one got banned. Well, so their stuff is weird, where it's like, I mean, everybody knows that. But if it is not the focus of the game, it's fine. Basically, if you're not playing a porn game, if there just happens to be floppy dongers real quick, and that's just in the game, it's not your fault and fine. You won't have a problem. But for art, they won't let you draw the nude form. I guess because the focus is nudity the whole time. And the issue for me is if I'm doing a character creation and it's got nips and stuff, and I'm like, you know, sitting there for like an hour moving things around and changing textures and building something out, then I guess the internet gets to look at like 3D boobs for a long time, which you can't find anywhere else on the internet, so that's no good. Yeah, I know. That was the one where she showed like her booty hole.
Scrubby one hype, scrubby one hype, scrubby one hype,
scrubby one hype, scrubby one hype, scrubby thank you, scrubbette thank you, scrubbette thank you, scrubbette thank you. What did I get? 2020 mask up. But hey, thanks. A bunches. So I have an idea of two different story blocks. Basically, I have a haunted story block, which is going to basically become our demon block, and then our okay, huh? I can't. What am I doing? I can't write when I'm doing stuff fast like this. Our non-haunt block. And so this is like more of the work you need to do. Though right now, I'm wondering if I should even have the other two bodies. The issue here is that, like, I could make it so that you just, per play session, you deal with one body, just like you do in the prototype, but it's expanded, essentially. You're getting the body, you're doing all the things you need to do, and you're just trying to figure out which demon type it is to figure out what to do. I could build around that, and that becomes like, I'm trying not to think about the amount of code I'm ripping out or changing. I'm just trying to think of what's going to be better and what's going to be, in the long run, a little more condensed and easier to grok. Because if I have three, then you've got to figure out also which body it is. So the question is, where do I want the focus to be? Do I want the focus to be on the moment-to-moment experience of dealing with this body, and you're trying to figure out which demon it is, right? That, I think, holds value in staying true to the prototype. The other option is to also, I mean, it's still essentially the same thing, but I'm throwing two red herrings in there, basically. I'm throwing two other bodies in there that you also have to perform stuff on. And then there's a potential to play with that, where I could be like, other bodies could come to life, but they're being controlled by this other one, sort of Autopsy of Jane Doe style. And now the game becomes not just figuring out which demon it is, but also which body it is that you need to deal with. That stays true to the original idea of the game. Making them blocks instead of people. Dead Zone's got it. You figured it out. Now you're thinking with your noodle. What's this one? Oh my god, I have a million tabs open now because of this shit. Oh, headshot AI-based 3D head generator. Good lord. The base, it's like they're all like, $150. But I mean, that's not, whatever. I don't need that. It's just something I was looking at because I was curious. How many tabs are open? Good lord. Okay, there's 3 now. That's much better. That site, the Reillusion site, was just like anything you clicked opened a new tab, so it was just like just tons. What's up, Catalyst? How's it going? So, what does our game look like when it's 1 versus 3? If it's 1, like I said, it's much more like the prototype, where your experience is a one-off every time you play. It's different body, potentially, and all that stuff. And the demon type is different, and the experiences are different to a degree. Obviously, it's pulling a bunch of different things, and that's what you're focusing on. So you're going start to finish the entire time trying to figure out which demon it is. You know it's haunted at that point. You know this is the body that's got the creepy shit going on. So you're in this sort of like waiting mode for something to drop. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop while you're working on it. The other one is you have the 3 bodies, things are happening all around you, because we get into this weird sticky situation. This is my only problem with the 3. I actually really like the idea of the 3 bodies, because you get to do more embalming, you get to do more inspecting, there's more opportunities for things to happen in different times. But my hang up with that is that it becomes much more complex to do interesting things, because I'm pinging different bodies and doing different things based off of whichever one's out, and trying to basically, I need to know much more what the player is doing at any given moment, pretty much. Yeah, I like the 3 bodies too. But then I also get to this scenario of like, once you have entered all the bodies in and you've done all the body stuff, things are still happening around you. I suppose I could do a timing thing where things start to get ramped up, and maybe your distress is getting higher as you get closer to finishing the 3 bodies. So it's almost like you want to finish them, but at the same time that could become really dangerous because you've gone through everything and now it's like you still don't know what's going on. Or you get them all done, and then what do, right? That's what I'm saying. Like with 1 body, it becomes much easier to control the player's experience. With 3 bodies, say you do both of the non-demon bodies, and I still need to ramp things up. I still need to do stuff. I suppose I could give cues, maybe. Then I could play with like cues for like which one's the haunted body. It does give an extra level of interest. So, does the demonology stuff become like is it something on the computer just like before, or do I make it like a safe that you open up, that you get the combination to because of who you are, that you then have access to like these books, and I can bring up some book reading UI that lets you flip through things and sort of figure stuff out. But I feel like the better solution is on the computer, because it's like easier to expand. You know, you can add more to a database, right? So if I ever wanted to do expansion stuff in the future, I can add more links to the little demonology app that they've built. It's a little weird that they have this like bespoke software for containing demonology information. But I could be like, this is it's a fake web browser where you just go to this one website and browse it, and it's like a demonology site. Yeah, I mean, in one way, it makes sense given the history of the mortuary and the people that work there, that they would have a collection of all this old stuff, right? Like they've been doing it for a long time, and so they have like all this old documentation and other like, because the thing is, there's going to be stuff for performing rituals and stuff too. That needs to also be somewhere. So I could make a like Van Helsing style like locker that has all the demon fighting stuff in it, But I do like the idea of having maybe it's both. Maybe there's some information on this like really old stuff, plus the tools that you can use, and then also the database. Current day, pretty much. Catalyst around current day. I'm using I'm going to be making like a Windows 95 style UI for the computer, so it's kind of in a more like but it's bumping around from 90s to now, somewhere in there. It's an alternate 90s, let's say. Everything is an app then. My Necronomicon app on your phone. Swipe right for the demon of your choice. Gotta drive to the bookstore. Excuse me, miss. I have to go to Books A Million. Okay, so I think we do have it on the computer. Now, maybe I don't need the obituaries and stuff like that, because it's not really about how they died anymore. Like I was saying earlier, I'm going to shift the focus from the information about the bodies to what is going on around the player, to keep them in the environment, to keep them in things going on, to make things much more tactile in terms of in the game. Yeah, it does it. It's just got old ass books and Windows 95. So yeah, maybe this whole interface becomes for the night shift stuff. We get rid of the drop down because we don't need the house is just old. It's the future. Does it take place in the subject universe? I don't know. Also not bad. Not bad. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna download that too, I guess. All this, I'm trying to get all these things for like the software I just got to be updated, so I guess I'll just do that. I mean, it's called Downloader version 2.3. Great. There's an update, so I'll just go with that. Break in case of emergency book box. Is this old ass like rotting wood box? You gotta break the glass on the front. Huh. It just all goes orange, just fades. No, I haven't watched American Horror Story. Though I have seen some synopsis of the bunker one. Is that the one where the little like pretty boy vampire dude comes in and, sorry, spoilers, is like a robot lady and stuff? I guess it doesn't spoil too much, but no, there are robots. Where these horses come out of nowhere and stuff. Yeah. I think I watched, it might have been Elvis the Alien, if no one's watched him. Pretty funny YouTuber that does good shitty horror movie reviews, also Nicolas Cage movie reviews. But all right, so what we need to do here, let's actually get to work here now, since I know the character stuff I'm put on the back burner. I like where I'm going with the new direction. I think it's solid. I think I'm gonna go with 3 bodies. I like it. I will make that part work. The fact that I'm moving the night shift database away from requiring the bodies be there, it's just information, and the data entry becomes just a checklist kind of thing, something to do. I think that's good. So I don't need this. Let me find this. No references, perfect. I'm not gonna worry about it then. Drop down. I don't need you. I don't need you. Get out of here. Funny games? No, I've not heard of that. It sounds like something not funny. All right, so we don't populate the drop down anymore. All it did was like check to see if, hey, is this body finished? If it is, add the name, boop. So I'm not gonna worry about that anymore. We don't care who these people used to be. They are not themselves anymore. And they don't need a drop down. So what's gonna happen here, this is my Netscape Navigator style little animation thing for loading stuff. Now I got these little tool buttons that I think, we'll see. It's gonna be like different types of demonology stuff. I'm gonna have to do a lot of research. The way I wanted this to work was not so much like a web browser, but like more like a old school database where it's like, all your text is here. You click on something, you get text on the left, and you can scroll down through it, and then you get some old school stipply images and stuff on the right, and that's just what those panes are for. What's up? Oh, really? Who's that?
Friend of Emily Hopkins.
Oh. Make a fight!
Yeah.
Enter the octagon.
Come see the house right now.
Yep. Well, let me know when, and we'll do what we gotta do. We're for those who don't know, I mean, we're moving or attempting, so we have to sell the house, and we're, you know, it's a little kind of a weird time to be doing that, but you know, we are ready to move on from this location, and we have where we're going next. But yeah, so we have people look at the house, and then it's like, open all the windows, be gone for a while, and then come back and sanitize doorknobs and stuff, and like, ugh. But hopefully we'll be able to sell it and get out of here. Florida's got, you know, okay weather, but I'm in a spot with a lot of crazy people. All right, so the idea here, changing states, yes! I am changing from a solid to a liquid and falling into the world. Connecticut. I'm gonna get in on some of that haunted territory. Hey, Karn. Yeah, we like, I love being by my folks. You know, I live right around the corner from my mom and dad. It's something that I've wanted to do, but our other needs as a family and things that, you know, we want for our kids and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, this place just doesn't match what we would like, and you know, it's a pity, but my parents understand, and they're probably going to peace out as well at some point. I hope they do. I think it would make them happier. Yeah, part of it is that my wife and I both really love New York. I've always wanted to either live in it or near it, so there's a chance to do that. Obviously, I got kids, so I'm not going to be in the heart of New York or anything, especially not right now. But we found a place that's got, you know, nice schools. It's nearby. It's near New York. It's got basically everything here and then some. It's got a higher population, which is something we want. We don't want to live in a tiny place really anymore. Too hot? Yeah. Yeah. There's a number of reasons, but like my parents at first, you know, were like, oh, well, it's really cold there. And I lived in Wisconsin for 4 years, and I'm like, I know cold winters, right? Like super cold winters that are very long with lots of snow. Like I know that. And I'm like, this part of Connecticut's not that. You know, it's like coastal Connecticut, and they get maybe snow like 3 times a year. It does get cold, but for like 3.5 months. So it's not like Wisconsin where it's like heavy snow for like 6 months. And so, you know, there's actually a place called Old York. Weird. Oh, is there a place? Oh, I don't know. Probably York. York, England. I live in England. I feel better with a bit of cold. Yeah, I like the idea of seasons, you know? Hey, what's up, Poopy? Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Good to be back. So over there, and then in this guy right here is going to be images. So I'm just going to put this here. And I think I'm going to have a couple. So if I want more than one, I can make that happen. And it's going to be like, what? 4 hundo by 2 hundo, maybe? Maybe 350? 256? Basically, I want the option to have 2 different images here if I really want. So I think that's good. That's good. Cool. Due to being stuck at home during lockdown, I've been inspired to learn to code. Excellent. Great. But let me see here. So yeah, anyway, we'll be moving. We've been wanting to for a little bit, so we're going a little insane because we're like, I'm ready to leave now, and we can't, you know. But it's going to take the amount of time that it takes, and we are hoping it is sooner than later. There you go, get a good text for that. So this is going to get filled with various things. I may try to figure out how to render like HTML5 and get actually use like it might be cool to use like a web page, but we'll see. I don't know if I want to get that far into things. May not be worth it. So over here is going to be like demonology stuff, like different places, I think. Maybe I'll have like a couple different like bookmarks essentially. And that way this can be expanded on. You'll spend more time at the computer looking up those various things. But then there will also be a spot. Hey, Cascal, how's it going? All right, so I think that's cool. We don't need to do the drop down anymore. This can be accessed at any point now, I guess, which is fine. That's cool. All right. So now... Oh yeah, look at that. So where do we go from here? We've got the ability... Let me delete my save file and step through the whole thing. Could you do my homework? Only takes 10 minutes for you. How much you paying? How much you pay for doing that homework? Please, I need money. What is your homework? I'm curious. That you think I'm smart enough to do. You put your faith in the wrong place, first of all, but now I'm curious. You've piqued my interest. App data, local low, Darkstein, Mortuary assistant, save data. There we go. Now we start a new game. New game minus. I take the burden anyway. I have to program a loop in Python? What kind of loop? Also, I don't know Python. All right, so we've got nothing. I can't do anything right now. Like, I go in here. And if I pull out a body and I'm like, yeah, let's go with Sherbert Porm. Oop. Go. Oh, I don't have my clipboard. Womp womp. Let's go get it. Woohoo! Excellent. Muy great. So now I got it. And we're gonna move the table. Ba 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 ba. Ba ba. Oops, I fat fingered. There we go. All right, so now we are here to inspect. We would look at this and we'd see, okay, move body from table. Inspect. Excellent. All right, let's inspect this lady. All right, we got something on her head here. Skaboop. Recorded. Great. She had something on her back, but I haven't done any animation for back or anything or anything like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and be like, whap whap. That's all you get. That entry. Boop, 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 boop. And then the head, I think, is there? No, there. There. Meh. 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 Oh, wait. Am I out of step? Can that happen? I think that can happen. Oh, was the head the first? Never mind. Head was the first one. I'm just dumb. Oh no, Ice Cream! Are you okay? What happened? What happened? What did you type? Anyway, so now Sherbet Porman is in there. Oh no, I clear. Ooh, good to know. I can accidentally clear it. There we go. But I would hit submit. There we go. Now we're submitted. That was not a link. Ooh. Yeah, if you accidentally have like a period and no space, it thinks it's a link because Twitch is dumb. All right, there, that's entered, and we'd be like night shift. Here's this, and now you can go places. Yeah, neat. Anyway, so we've done that off our list, and now it's time to embalm. Boop, embalming done. We did it. Great. Now, ah, nuts. I really need to do like a lighting pass, so I don't have to do that anymore. Then we can move them back. Should put a mini game on the computer. That's a good idea. We'll see once we get past all the movement stuff and everything, and like getting like the actual game stuff I can do. So there we go. And now it's time for Man Dark Bottom. Come out here, you boobed man. Ha! That's not a bad idea, actually. I like that. All right, so now we're in inspection mode here. However, there's going to be this is more of a future Brian problem. The inspection stuff. You know, I could not record anything, and just put in the name and age and be like, that's enough. I could maybe grade you on how well you recorded things. Like how well you actually did your mortuary duties amidst all this. There you go. Time to embalm this body. What's a retort again? It's a sassy comeback. No, basically where you burn a body. Scary version of Operation. Pretty much. Right, move you back to cold storage. Okay. Whoop. And you, Brittany Roltanian. Come on down, it's your turn. Move to tablet. Yeah. All right, so now we're doing inspection here. Don't know where it is, so I'm just gonna say we're done. See, this is where I need to refine things a bit. I mean, obviously, this system and the embalming system are not, like, stood up. So, I need to do more stuff. Brittany Roltanian, 71. Submit. Cool. We got all of them. And now we do the embalming. Embalming is done. Now we're inspecting. And so now that's essentially, that would be, that part of the game is done. Now obviously we have done the short version of it. Because, you know, the entire inspection process is going to require like rolling the body over and like doing all sorts of things to like get that information and record it. And then the embalming is going to take lots of steps, and things are going to be happening. Things will be happening around you that will require you to leave and do other things and all kinds of stuff. So that'll be part of it. That is speed run, you know it. Only if you want ice cream. That's gonna be in a mod. So now at this point, where you would be in the game is basically you will have experienced a number of haunting stuff, things you've had to deal with, maybe slight body disappearances, you know, that sort of thing. Cavity mode. And then you'll need to, based on everything that has happened to you, be going through your night shift stuff and kind of researching different demons and figuring out which one it is. And then from there, you're going to try and perform the ritual you need to on the body. What happens to the poo when you die? Do they just leave it in there? I mean, there's no real cause for removal, though supposedly you empty your bowels when you die. I don't know. But I'm not sure. I'll have to inspect. Maybe that's part of the process. We're going for realism here. All right, so I think I'm starting to get to the point where I need to build out the embalming, so that you can do that, like actually build the whole embalming process. So we'll start stepping through it. Now, I think I need to change how these bodies are handled then, because if I'm not going to have any like text stuff, like I'm not going to have any information I'm pulling from, I don't care about their obituaries anymore. I don't care anything about the person. Like it used to be, there's going to be like detective-y, you're looking into that aspect. But again, I fear that takes you out of the core of the game and what it is meant to be. So I can remove that from the story blocks. I don't need it anymore. I don't use it so yet. So it's okay to be gone. Like, yeah, text assets, we don't need that anymore. Don't need sub keys. So we don't need that. We don't need the block type anymore. Does this get referenced anywhere? I don't think it does. No. Okay. So, wait. No, I don't need it anymore. We're breaking shit. That's the point here, though. I said I was gonna be ripping stuff out, so here we go. So we're gonna have special items, markings on the body, then trigger events. These are gonna be the things that are tied to this body. But this is really only for the haunted body, obviously. Though, no, I could do some things where it's like non-haunted things that are like, it's not related to the demonic body. It's just something that, again, if I want to do something Autopsy of Jane Doe style where the other body is like up walking around or doing something weird happens, I can put them on the scriptable object to then run. I'll probably have some generic things as well, like apparitions and things like that. They'll be on their own system. I keep needing to set this stupid thing. There we go. I thought I had fixed it, but maybe I didn't. I just don't need to go as heavily into, like, see, I have all these different, like, story art things now where I'm picking different, Karna, thank you very much.
Seems good.
Thanks. But right now all I'm using are the markings on the body, and that's fine. But I don't need the different story ones anymore. Now, really all that's on it is going to be essentially character profile stuff. Right now it's just the markings on the body, but there will be other things. The only ones I think I'm going to need to do separate things. This is interesting. It feels good because it's getting cut down a lot, but I'm just trying to think of how I restructure some of this stuff. Also, I don't know why there's lighting settings in my story objects folder. Get out of here. Also, this. There we go. Good job. Hadn't had it in a bit. Need to readjust. All right, let's go back to our chicken scratch here. Check this out. So if I am coming here and, oh, jeez, it's doing it again. So what'll be on there? Markings specific to, dog, hello. Hello, doggy. So I really only need one story block scriptable object per body, essentially. So I'll have like the demon ones where it's going to be like, I guess the name of the demon, the like whatever items are needed that'll get spawned places, anything related to that one will be on that object. And then there's the benign ones that are just your regular everyday dead people. All right, well, let's break shit. All right, where's my profile manager? We're gonna get weird with it. So we're gonna have story blocks. Let's just break it the easiest way. There we go. All right, let's start fixing. On to build. I don't need these. This is going to cause a domino effect, but that's what we want. We're just going to keep fixing. Story block 1. That's in our setup here. So we don't need story block 1 or 2. I'll need... Okay, yeah, and those are the additions, so I don't need that. There we go, this is going to get renamed. And we'll be changing how all this, you guys can't see it, but how all this is going to work. Alright, oh, this is that noodle bowl. Okay, this is placing markings based on, so we got a normal body. Okay, if it's demonic body, if it has markings, otherwise if it's a normal body, it has markings. Then we do the same thing for block 1 and block 2, which we don't need to do anymore. Hey, look at us. We're making it much more simple. That's just the one. It's not some crazy, weird, gross thing anymore. That can't be all there is. There's gonna be something. That can't be all there is. Okay, so we go to pick body, name, age, cold storage. So we do the same thing we've done before, placing it wherever it needs to go. And then if it equals 0, we know it's the haunted body, we do the haunted build. Otherwise, we do the normal build based on whichever body it is. Why are we passing that? How does this get used? For whatever step. Oh, okay, I'm plugging it into save data. We're gonna need to rename that. It's not an obituary anymore. It's just gonna be normal blocks. Okay. Oh, rename. We'll still call it a story block. There we go. I'm not going to need those other ones anymore in the save state, so that's cool. I can get rid of story block 1 and 2. So we'll pull those. All right. So we place the markings based off of what is already on those blocks. Those are our names. All right, story objects. What is this? Transform spawn location. Okay, this is where things get placed on the body. So it takes the body transform locations, I believe. Okay, let's see what we've broken. Let's see how many errors we get everywhere in our console. Doubt. All right. Cool. Well, let's take a look at our haunted block. That's all we're gonna need. We're gonna get rid of everything else. Yeah, get rid of them. So there's 1 and 2. These are the other ones. We're just gonna call them normal block 1 or normal body 1, normal body 2, demon body 1. Get rid of all these. We don't need them. Delete these. Then in the manager, we need the profile manager. Should have our story blocks basically gone now. Haunted body profiles. Yeah, here we go. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and delete my save data because that's got other information I don't need. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, take a look at this. This guy, yeah. Okay, that's fine. That pulls from that JSON file. Demon body, then we're gonna do demon body 2. Why not? We'll expand this. And we're gonna add some extra spheres all over the body. Yeah, well, for now they're spheres. They're gonna be different markings. Basically, I'm building a profile of like all the markings that'll be on this particular body is stored on this story object. And that's how these work right now. That's all they have. And then item IDs that will be called are going to be like, okay, this particular item is going to be, you know, spawned and put into the object pool so that when I need it, I'll move it to wherever I need it or something like that. You know, maybe some old gross book that's got demon shit on it, you know, is somewhere, and I need that. It's like, that's how this gets called. There's going to be other events and things that'll be tied to these, like this, and most of it I think is going to be like keyword stuff, where it's like I'll just have all of it on here and it will tie into the actual game, where it'll be like, okay, what event do I run at this point, and checks the demon body game object or scriptable object, and is like, oh, okay, I run this one because that's the one I've chosen, right? All it is in my save state is just an integer that gets saved on which body has been chosen. And then anything I do is just going to be like, all right, go to the scriptable object number, whatever, and look for whatever information you need. So it's just giving it a little ID to look up. So right now there isn't a whole lot to it, but there will be more. All right, our profile manager, we've got body 1. We're going to add body 2. And see, there's all of our names, script format. So there's sphere, cube. We're gonna add some more bodies. I want to just have like a couple here that have like, you know, a bunch of things all over them, so that way I can kind of piece this together a bit. I want to see how much things break, because I did just gut a good amount of things. What about the cubes? The cubes are getting love too. Cubes and spheres sleeping together. It's fine. All right. We need story objects. We're gonna go back to our profile manager and add this third one. Okay, we're gonna run the game and see if it will just build like before. It really should, because I haven't plugged into this stuff much. That's kind of the silver lining to this, is like, while I had written a good amount of like setup code where it's like reads it and kind of throws things where it needs to be and all that sort of stuff. Oopsie doopsie, nope. I don't access it too much. Like, I don't use it yet. And so this is kind of a good point to be gutting this sort of stuff. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, no errors. This is really weird. I don't know why there's no errors, but I'm gonna go with it. We'll see how this works out. All right, so we got Hugh Rottletop. Bring them on out. Come on down. You got a sphere on your face, I can see already. One on your leg. Move to table. Hugh. All right. So now we're in inspect mode. We've got, let's see, one on the leg. I don't know if this is the haunted one. I have no idea at this point, so we inspect that. Good, we get it. Let's inspect your face. Good, we gotcha. I need to label all the things so that I can easily click through this. Like this, where it's not labeled in any way, whether or not this is a head or whatever. It's labeled in the editor, but just not in here. So here's the head. And I think it's this one. Nope. Ah, there it is. Spoopy. There we go.
So we're best friends now.
Saved. Saint Luch. Thank you very much for the follow. Hilarious idea for a game. Good. I'm glad it tickles your funny bone, Muffin. All right. So now we've done this, and we should just be able to move on to embalming. Okay, happy ending head. Maybe it was that simple since I hadn't plugged other stuff into it. Move it to cold storage. Okay. Get your booty in there. Next one, Lindsay Tumblebomp. Ooh. I see we've got an issue here. What's up with you? Oh, that was weird. Great. We'll have to figure that one out. Whatever. Whatever for now. Move the table. Also on the leg. There we go. Nothing on the head. And on the inside of the hands, I don't know, because I don't have an animation for that. Stubborn dead people not moving. I know, right? Alright, so next one. Lindsay, hey. Hey, Lindsay Tumblebomb. Oh, there we go. 82. She old. Bark Dick.
Nerd.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. There it is. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. Cool. Okay. We get it. Let's get Chantella Roltanian. Oh, she's got something on her head. Move to table. Come on, Chantella. Let's do this. Thank you very much. Boop.
And that's the way
All right, and then we get our next one. Chantella, 43. And she's got a spear on her head. Submit. Excellent. We've got everyone now. Everybody's in the system. So now we should be good. It's autosaves then, but at least there it's saved too. So now let's load and see what has happened. See if we get all the same people, we don't get any weird issues, we still load appropriately. Because I mean, that build script works for when it first builds a game and for when it loads, and I fat fingered the keyboard again. And there she is, out in all her glory with the sphere on her head. Let's always talk about how perky the boobs are. They're not really perky. They're kind of, I mean, if you had seen, here, there you go. So that's this model. You tell me how perky those are. Oh, you're saying because for the laying down. What do you want from me? You see, she's wearing a bra. She's got some support. I'm not adding boob physics. I know how much you all want it. It comes up every single stream. I will not rest until the boobs are real. Oof. Add tummy physics. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. You. Anyway. Soft body. We'll just start. Yeah, having that nice like. All the game. That's all people really want. Everyone just wants shit ragdoll physics. Perfection. I never thought perfection could be achieved. But then I saw Grump wave his arms around like a wacky waving and play with arm flailing too, man. What's this? God. Let me flip on the window real quick. I need sound pass. I need an everything pass, so what do you gotta do? All right, so first bit of gutting is good to go. Yeah. So we gutted all that junkitude, and now, what about our save state? Do we have anything else I could steal from? Mark, sub, body mark, loc. Oh, no, I need those, because that's what saves that, position. Okay. Those are good, all that stuff is good. Yeah, I think we didn't go too far down that rod, so we were cool. That'll show them. That'll keep them at bay. Alright, so we got that. We get the age, we get the name. Build the normals. We don't need a region for this anymore because they're just a single method. There we go. Woody-woo, there we go. And we've picked our bodies, we've gotten our everything, we've built everything out. Neat. Cool. So now, what do I do? We have basic inspection. I guess next is basic embalmy stuff. Get that done. Now that we know kind of where we're heading with things, let me check my chicken scratch again. My poop notes. So those all become a thing. Trying to think where I do some crossover with because here's the issue right now is I have one story object. I'm no longer doing mix and matching stuff, right? It's just one story block that has all the markings, whatever other information I'm going to need, and events that are going to happen around the player. So that means it's a little less versatile in terms of replayability for that, where I'm giving a much more direct experience. Now, you'll get a different demon each time for X number of demons, however many I build up for the game, but I'm not mixing and matching events, and I feel like maybe I should. Let's see, where do we go in recording I think it's a clipboard manager when I record that data. Record body mark. Here we go. Record body marking. Body location, clipboard. Just, text equals. Okay, so that's where we record it. So what I can do, maybe I could do some sort of event trigger where I just like, when I do those things, I send a little ping that's like, hey, this is happening. And if I want to, I can trigger something. So I can have some control over, like, I'll have random things happen at certain like points in time. There's like a threshold, I guess, where I could be like, how far are you? I could give like just a single integer that I track that's like, how many steps have you done total, right? Like there's X number of steps for a single body, but I would just add them all and be like, okay, if you're this number of steps in, then various things can happen randomly. But then also based on that number, I guess I would track a separate one for the demonic body and be like, what number are you at there? And do events based on that. And then I would have random events. So I would have 3 different levels. So I would have one level. Co-hate pillow in the backseat of the car. Don't hate it. That's cool. Well, let's see. I always throw something in each game. Like in Our Secret Below, there's an obituary that you find. There's a document you find that has that references Riverfield's Mortuary, which is where there's this mortuary. Let's see. So there's always something. So there'll definitely be things. I really like the idea of the subject mini game on the computer. You know, like just some sort of, even if it's just like a little like top down, the monsters chasing you, Pac-Man style thing, where you're just like doop 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 doop. Hey, what's up, Twitch Dog? Good to see you. So we would have level, I guess we call it level 1 event. Level 1 events, 2, 3, so we'll just say level 1 happens per step. It would be per step, and then level 2s would be per demon step, and then level 3s I think would be per demon step plus normal step. So it'd be like if you're on step 20 of 30, but your remaining 10 steps all have to do with the demonic body, then you'd still only get these per steps or whatever. But if you're on step number, 20 and the rest are like the other bodies, so maybe you'll get some combination of those will equal another event. Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for the parts. Thank you. I appreciate you so much, Jelly J Ham. You know what? This sound effects thing needs to be larger. Should just be on the screen. There you go. All right. And then there'd be little random events. So these events would trigger. So I'm gonna have in my save state is gonna be another set of ints to track. Public int. Progress step. Public int. Haunted progress step. Call it total progress step. So now we'll keep track of those. And basically I would start doing things of like when I record a marking, I would have game data or game manager.is.save.progress step, total progress step plus. So we get that. So we just up it by 1. And there would be a number of things that once I've done those, I'll do a progress step. What's your ETA for this game? Sometime in the summer. It's a loose target because I don't want to hold my feet to something that I'm like, you know what? I need another couple months. And then it's like, what buzz I tried to build up around a date is gone or something. I've already said summer of 2021, so that's I think a wide enough range. I'm trying to keep it simple enough that I can work in that. I'm trying to make games that are, my larger games are more medium sized as opposed to, spending an entire year doing something to then see how it was received. I think I want to make a lot more smaller experiences, and then my larger games are more medium sized. I think my definition of a larger game has been askew for a solo indie developer, and I really want to make sure I'm getting that number right. So I'm focusing much more on what the experiences are going to be in this game, like the moment to moment of what the player feels, than making sure you get through X amount of gameplay time, I feel like if people enjoy it, the time will take care of itself. And I have enough different experiences each time they try a new game, the more replayability I'll have, and they get hours that way. So I'm just gonna make it good. That's my goal. Let's see. I also have an idea for something kind of cool that I've been formulating. That is not Mortuary Assistant, but rather, you know, some like other ideas altogether. Yeah, small batch artisanal free range video games. I like it. Gotta add that artisanal. Very important. And actually, this is going to become... I'm just going to have this be a method I call off of the game manager. So that way I'm not... I mean, I guess it's the same either way. Boo. It's just I'm calling a shorter piece of code. Be like... total progress, and then it would just be this. Then it'd be the same thing where it's like up. Haunted progress. Haunted progress step. I'm calling this shit either way. I'm just cutting this out basically. So whatever. Boom, 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 boom. But then I can add other things into here to trigger if I want, and I can build off of that as opposed to, you know, weird. Like where do I call that? Okay, that's the one that steps up there. So I guess I'll go ahead and do this. Yeah. Okay. I guess the other thing I'll need to check for is like, I'm not sure how granular I want to get with the steps. I think I want to be granular for the total because that's like, I want to have a smooth ramp of tension. So if I like am high on the total of things that you're doing, I can do heavier stuff, and if it's really low, I can do simple stuff, and that's probably the best way to go. And I'll come up with like a total out of all the different things you can do, so I know where my max is at. And then for the haunted, it'll be like major steps, like you finished recording data, you've finished embalming, you've finished doing this, that, and the other thing. That way I can do what I was talking about here for the step 2 events, where I check my demon step and I go, okay, I've finished step 1, but I'm on step 20 of the granular steps. So step 1 plus step 20 granular steps will equal 1 major event or something, you know? Yeah. Okay. I can ping that whenever I want. I can check it and see what I want to do. All right, so I think the next is going to be embalming. Now, that's going to require a number of things. It's going to require collecting items. It's going to require all kinds of stuff. Just a bunch of everything. So let's start looking into that. When I switch into, let me take a look at the body here. I like where this is going. I think this is a good way to go. I'm removing all the, you know, potentially boring detective work, and it's all about what's happening around you. Let's see. Where am I? Bodies. There we are. Interactions. This is my bread and butter right here. All this. So if I go to embalm, embalming helper goes to clipboard manager. That ain't right. Oh, well, clearly I had something greater in mind. So This is going to need a whole thing. How do I want to do that? I need like a separate embalming manager. Where... What do I need it to do? All right, what is this going to do? This thing is going to... also, hold on. These aren't a thing anymore. Embalming process. What after the embalming process? Yeah, it'd basically be like ritual. So we'll do embalming process on our to-do. That's a pretty big ass to-do. So we're gonna work on that. There we go. That was weird. Saving to my notepad where OBS like loads it for some reason, it takes like all the processing power in the world. Like I freeze on my OBS and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here. All right, so we're not gonna have clipboard manager. What do we need this to do? We need, let's go ahead and make a new script. We're gonna practice something here. I'm gonna need, I have an embalming helper, but I don't have an embalming system. Embalming runner, and we'll power this on whenever we need to do things. All right, so get him. We'll load it up. There we go. Whoop. Our embalming runner is going to keep track of the players, keep track of embalming liquids gathered, embalming items gathered. It will so it's going to keep track of the items gathered. It's going to step through each stage of embalming. It will well, it wouldn't be gathered, it'd be used because we're going to have them in the item system. So just keep track of the embalming items used. Step through each stage of the embalming. Vagabond! Wait a second, because Twitch's ads. Hi, read today. Alright, hello. Go to bell. We got all our ad block buddies in. Ad block unite against Twitch. Hey, dude, thank you very much for that raid. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we have returned good. I've missed all of you. I've missed you very much. I've been gone for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That was half a week longer than I anticipated. But it was good. It was nice to have a break and get and get kind of a refresh. Though I got so removed from it because I'm very like, I need to work 24/7. That's what I do. So like being removed from that for so long, I got back. I'm like, what do I do? I don't know how to live. I don't know how to be. Yeah, 2 weeks is good. I needed it. I needed it. Helped me gain a little bit of perspective on. We were talking earlier. Like I have an issue of a work-life balance in that my work balances outweigh my life a whole lot. You know, I need to be better about that. Like we were talking about games I have not played, which is like none. Took down the Batman poster. I had to. We're moving soon, hopefully. But we have to, we gotta sell the house, so it's like we gotta stage it so every room looks like an adult lives in it. So that's good, I guess. Don't congratulate me yet. I mean, you can congratulate me on wanting to leave Florida, but yeah, we still gotta sell, and then there's the whole about actually relocating and finding a place to live and all that. So but yeah, you may leave the state, but you'll always be no. I've only lived here like 4 years. I live in San Francisco 8 years. All right, that's the longest I've ever lived anywhere. So I am as far. I guess if we were to go by time served, I'd be a San Franciscan. I don't know if I enjoy that either, but I think it's better. I really love being near my parents just around the corner. But our life needs have changed over the past few years, and also we're surrounded by a bunch of crazy people that we don't really mesh with. So we're relocating to a place that is gonna hopefully meet on paper it meets all the needs that we have. So for us and for I got 2 kids, all of that, it's the right move. So yeah, now we just need someone to. It's like an infection. Can't take Florida, man. If you swim in the water, there's like a parasite that lives in some of the fresh water in Florida that actually lowers your IQ for life. Like, I don't know by how much. It's like 10 points or something, but it's like it makes you dumber, and it's like that's a legit thing. So it can be true.
Friends now.
You can be infected with Florida juice. Hey, Josh Wynn, thank you very much for the follow. Pretty sure you're Florida man forever. Damn it. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen to me. The moment we're like, hey, it sounds all right. And for a while, we're like, this place is nice. I don't know what's wrong with all the Florida stuff. But then we had, we tested people's merit with this past year and the election season and everything, and we got a lot of people's true colors, and we were like, I don't know. I see to do embalming process. See, it was right to update it, everybody. Yeah, basically, I am onto the point. I've done some reshuffling of how I want the game to work. I'm trying to scale it down a little bit. I want to keep it. Nice and within the experience that's in the prototype. That's what resonated with people, so I need to keep coming back to it. And so now, you got your 3 bodies still. You got to figure out which one is the demon body. Like which one is possessed, essentially, which demon it is, and do the appropriate stuff to put that body's soul to rest.
So we're best friends now.
And that's what you're doing. Mandajan, thank you bunches. And so now I've gotten to, you get the body out of cold storage, you bring it into the operating room, I guess. You do the inspection of the body, record any markings and things that you find, put it into the computer, and then you move on to embalming. And so now I'm like, all right, I need to build out the embalming system, and that's what it is. Because right now all you do is click, and it's like, okay, embalming's done, and it needs to be like I'm gathering all the different, chemicals for embalming, all the different tools I need. Basically what happens in the prototype, all the gathering of things and mixing stuff in the machine and doing all that. But then you're going to be cutting incisions for stuff and performing that whole process. You're going to drain the body, shit like that. Step through each stage of embalming. We're going to do draining, draining, yeah. Draining. Then it's gonna be we're gonna be, I'm gonna gather equipment first, so it'd be gathering, draining, pumping. This is weird. Gathering, draining, pumping. Then it's going to be tube removal, and Yoshi, what the hell, man? Or girl, whatever. It's my dog. So gathering your stuff, draining things. Oh, we're gonna do mixing, gathering, mixing, gathering, draining, mixing, pumping, tube removal. Then we'll close it up. It's gonna be close up. And then I don't think we would do makeup or anything like that. I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, so Josh, the prototype that was on Itch, which by the way you can play right now on Steam and on Itch, but when people played that, I got a lot of comments about Autopsy of Jane Doe. I actually had never seen the movie, so I was like, I don't know, maybe, and I saw it, and it's like, it's, as far as horror movies go, it's decent, but I was actually a little upset because you never got the payoff. I felt like it was a whole bunch of foreplay and no finale. You know, it's like there's a bunch of like creepy stuff that happens. Everything else does creepy stuff. The entire time you're waiting for this lady to start doing creepy shit. And it's like, I understand you don't want to blow your horror load right at the beginning. But you're building up to this creepy stuff happening, and like you're like, oh, she's gonna do something. Oh, she's gonna do something, and then it never happens. And they even end it with a little middle finger of her toe wiggling, and it's like, oh, come on. So it was all right, but there's also, you know, weird stuff of like, what was it? The girlfriend shows up, and sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but I guess plug your ear holes. The girlfriend shows up and gets an axe to the chest for some reason. Yeah, the end question mark, right? Yeah, it was a little too like, I felt like I had like some decent sushi, but then nothing of any substance, so I was hungry like right away. You know, it was just like, it's like a montage of creepy moments that just kind of meh together, and then you don't get the payoff of the creepy lady getting up or anything like that. And you know, that's what the audience wants, so give it to them, right? But it was still, like I said, it was still decent enough, but it just really bugged me. The girlfriend shows up in this like completely locked out area. It's like, how'd she get in this whole horrific experience? And he's like, the axe, and then she's like, oh no, I thought you loved me, kind of thing, right? And then it's like she's dead, and I'm like, no, she's playing. That's the lady, the witch lady, playing tricks on him again. And it's like, no, she just showed up. She just showed up and died. This is a little weird. But I don't know. It was still, I don't want to poop on it too much because horror movies are in a bit of their own genre. But it's like there's a lot of leniency for a lot of horror movies to be a good horror movie, right? It's not the same as like other types of movies. So it's going to keep track of the items used. It's going to step through each stage of embalming. The gathering, draining, mixing, pumping, tube removal, close up the stuff, and then that's when we switch back over to inspection when we're all done, and we can then re-inspect the body, and we can move the body back to cold storage or burn it, whatever we want to do, whatever you want to do to it. Well, not whatever you want to do to it, but most things that you'd want to do to it. What else does it need to handle? It needs to... It's one-time use, so I don't think I need a instance of it running. It's going to require items. So it needs to interact with... Yes, close up and close up. It's like resume and resume. I do that every time. Every time I type resume, for a pause menu. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, I'm not applying for a job with this. Nope, that's right. It's just, English is weird. So keep track of the body items. Step through each stage. So how am I going to handle that? Where do these things get spawned? So there's going to be... It's weird because there's sort of an interaction between this and the body. Because things like, when the tube's in the neck of the body, like that needs to be on the body. Because there's going to be different sized bodies, right? Now they all kind of fall into the same place. Where it's like it's going to be, by the table or whatever, but I can move that around. But it's going to be easier to be on the body. So I'm going to need to actually be able to communicate with the body. So, right, Josh? Yeah. No one want to learn this. Sorry, Kath Winters, if you posted a link, you got to get permission. Or if you forgot to add a space or missed adding a space after a period, it does that too, because Twitch is dumb. Or Streamlabs is dumb. Either way, my apologies, potentially. Had to do it for those spam bots that are like, you want to become famous? Except now they're doing without the link. Now it's like, famous .com, that's like what it does now. Oh, okay. I kind of want to see that. Hold on. You have permission. Oh my god, it's penises. No, it's the chaos. Dearest creature in creation, studying English pronunciation. I will teach you in my verse. Sounds like corpse, coarse and worse. I will keep you sussy busy. Make your head grow dizzy. Tear in an eye, your dress you'll tear. Oh god, your dress you'll tear. Queer fair seer, hear my prayer. Seer, oh my god. Pray console your loving poet, make my coat look new, dear, sew it. Just compare heart here and heard, dies and diet, lord and word. Jeez. You don't have to, Poopy, but you can get it. But through a different means in the demo, in the prototype there, the demo we do. Holy signal singing, same examining but mining, scholar, vicar and cigar, solar, mica, war and fire. Oh my god. It goes on forever. Okay. Yeah, you need, let's see, there's a note. I think there's there's like a hint in it. Where is that? Where is it? Forget what that hint is. I don't remember. It's an external thing though. It is very long. It goes to a web page. Hold on. Here, you need this you need a password anyway, so I'll go ahead and just put this here. But that is how you get into the computer in the demo. It was unfortunate I didn't get to do more stuff like that in the main game. Why did I do this? I can post all the links I want. Ha 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 ha. All right, so we keep track of the embalming items used. Yeah, that was fun to do. I really, like I said, I want to do more. I did some, it was kind of an ARG for the Our Secret Below demo because it was during the Kickstarter. So I wanted some interaction. But yeah, I forget exactly where you get the password for that. Might be in one of the, it's like in a notebook maybe? I forget. I forget. All right, keep track of embalming items used. Step through each stage. So how am I going to do that? So I need to have various items collected in my inventory. And when I interact with those, oof, okay, yeah, this is weird. Do I need more like embalming helper scripts, or rather expand the one that I have? Oh my goodness. Because there's going to be various things you interact with that you pick up, but then you'll place them other places, and they're needed to sort of check off the list of the things you need to embalm. Yeah, shite. Yeah, Josh. Gotta bounce for podcast. It's good to see you, dude. It's good to see you too. Enjoy your podcast, man. Is this another one of your industry talk things? Everybody, you gotta go check out Vagabond Dog, even if that's not what he's doing right now. He's done some pretty cool industry interviews with successful indie developers, and there's some great stuff in there. So it's definitely worth checking out and listening in. So I'm gonna need the body that is currently being embalmed. So I think I have that. I mean, I know I've got on the game manager session bodies. Where do I reference this? Body change state. Set body state. So how do I know where I'm at on there? Place bodies. Okay, let's see about setting the state. Or I actually grab that. Oh, you know what? I think I get the current body. It's from the clipboard manager. Oh my god. Oh my god, that needs to be moved around. That's so gross. Where do I set that? Current body. Inspecting current body is true. I guess it would be whichever body is embalming. I'm gonna have to rebuild that so that I should just like store it. Why does it sound like the cyberpunk theme? It's not. This is Oblivion. Oh wait. Oh, you know, maybe this is it's called Oblivion Cyberpunk Dark Synthwave Mix. Royalty-free, no copyright music from that White Bat Audio. You know, they have the streamer-friendly music in Cyberpunk. I wonder if maybe this is in it. Or something. Where is this? What time is it at? This is Infernal Sky. That's the name of it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean there's definitely a sound, right? There's a specific sound. Oh. All right, so I need to know which body's being used so I can get certain things on it that are going to be... Where are we? I need my... No! So there's a body runner, which has all its potential marking locations on the body. Inspection types. Obviously there's no animator yet. There's no body underneath it to use. How would I get this information? Let me take a look at this. Where do I pull this from? Body runner. Let's get plugged in anywhere. I think what I could clean up, because there's a lot of shit that I do right now that is just like a get the current body number, and then I check for like, is that number in this state? Then start doing things with that body. But I feel like I need a specific, like, you know, get, well, because I could do something. I think I just need to change where it's at, because I could do something like game object current body is going to be current body equals game manager.ins session bodies. See, this, you're gonna see this is all over the place, so I need to rewrite it. Clipboard manager.ins.current body. So I could be like that, not necessarily on start, but you know, whenever. I mean, I could, I guess, whenever the embalming runner starts up, I would just be like, hey, the current body equals this guy. And then I would just do everything off of this. I could get whatever I want. I could do a whole setup where it's like I also get the body runner. So body runner, current runner. Or then that would be current runner equals current body dot get component. Nope. Component, and we'll grab the body runner from here. Be like, that's our guy. So cool. All right, good. Now we can easily grab that and do whatever we want with it. So we can run animations or do whatever we're going to need to do, spawn various things. But this is pretty gross because I'm like pinging separate things where it should just all be on game manager, like current body, game manager, current body. And then I could just ping that. I'm trying to make it so I can just be like, when I started, I'm just like, you know, new embalming manager, embalming runner. It starts up and then it'll set everything up and I can start working with it. Potentially. I don't know if that's what I want to do with it or not. I just need to think this through. So, where's the body runner? Oh, Snippy Snap. It's on the interactions. So I'll definitely have to do some voodoo for grabbing it from there, because it's going to be on the body itself. If I go to body prefabs, go to say body 1, it's not going to be on that. It's going to be on interactions. It's a body runner. How do I grab that? Because I get it from other places too. Set body state. Where do we have that? Gonna watch a spoopy movie. All right, enjoy. Have fun. Body runner current. No, that's that one. Oh, get component in children. Body runner. Oh, that's slow, but whatever. All right. Session bodies. Get. Oh, weird. Oh God, I see so many things that I'm like, I need to change. I need to change how that works. I mean, I could do the get component in children. Say that. I mean, it looks through all the children, which I'm not a huge fan of. But then that's going to let me speak to the body runner and spawn certain things, run certain stuff, instantiate things, or whatever I need to do that would be on the body runner itself. Next we're going to have, let's see, because there's going to be steps to this. Because, yeah, it's going to be like a sub thing on your checklist. Of like, okay, you move to embalming. What's the first thing you're gonna need to do? We're gonna need to keep track of embalming items used. Step through each stage of embalming. So we are going to need to have an enum. Public enum. Embalming state, and then public embalming state, and so first is going to be oh no, what'd you find it? Equipment. So first we're gonna get our equipment. Then after we get our equipment, we are going to drain. And then after we drain, we are going to mix. And then after we mix, we are going to pump. And then after pump, we are going to... It's going to be interesting. Because there's going to be a lot of like, you can't do that with this until you do that, and a lot of like setting things to not interactive, then interactive, and then like kind of controlling all that. So we're going to gather equipment, we're going to drain, then we're going to mix the mixture, then we're going to pump. Interesting. I think that's where it is. I'm trying to remember. Oh, man, it was so long ago. I'm trying to remember where that password is from. I think it is with it. I think it's on that sticker. I think you just put in what's on that sticker, if I recall. Because there's like a sticker with a QR code, and that number on it, I think, is the, or that string on it, I believe. Should be it. And the QR code takes you to that website. So let's see. When I get the equipment, when I drain, you're gonna have everything. And I'm gonna pick up. Let's see. What other systems are going to be taking care of this too? Because you're gonna have your inventory. You're gonna pick up these items. You know, like tubes and things like that, and then you're going to use them on the body. So when you're there and you have the tubes and you're in the right part, like you've cut the incision, then you would click there and the tubes would pop into place. Interesting. Are you sure you type? I think it's case sensitive and stuff. Because I haven't changed it. I haven't touched that. Weird. I can tell you right now though, it's like an Easter egg in the demo. It's not an important thing. That's why you can finish the demo without it. Just like in the game, how you can beat it without getting into the computer. But there's gonna be these states we need to step through, because like when you put the I'm gonna need some like helpers that trigger on and off and are like, this is the item I require, and when that happens, step through this next thing, because I have scripts for like using items at things, but they're for a lot more general use in the rest of the game, like turning things on and off, opening things, doing whatever. This is a rather specific thing. That's weird, Poopy. I don't know. I'd have to look at it, see what it is, see what the you can go ahead and put the password in here. I mean, it's not like, oh no, don't say. Hold on. Our secret below demo. Found the computer secret. Think-a-ba-dib. Let me see. Let me check in this video. It's one of the nice things about people playing your game is you can look at their video.
Oh, it works. Okay, system open. I'm assuming it's the move from in the games.
Okay. So, an overfit. Oh, you put O, it's a 0. Oh, good, that's not the password. I was like, oh my god, it's showing the password. I was like, no, it's not. Okay. WT0 PD PD TG TG 2SL9. Yeah, that's the password. It's a 0 instead of an O. So you have WTO, it's WT0. Yeah, no problem. Still gotta figure out what the rest of it means. Alright, man, this is interesting. How are these systems gonna work together here? Because I've moved you to embalming, and now you've got a little clicky thing that you're gonna need like a scalpel to use to require an item. And I believe that is, do I have the embalming helper here? Yeah, right now it just does activate the clipboard thing. So what I could do is make an enum where it's like a different type of thing that will happen. And then I could do a switch based on that. And then I could use this across the board. Just the embalming helper. I could put it on item, interactive stuff. I could do whatever. We'll see. We're gonna need yeah. Interesting, so I'm gonna need the mixture thing too, but I guess I could activate, yeah. So do public enum, let's see. What would I do? Say it's a mixture. And I would say requires an item. Depending on the step. No. Basically what would happen, this is going to be a script that I would place on an interactive object in the game or in the editor. And when I click on it, it will do something, because I have an interface that I've built here for iActivate, where when I click something, it sends the activate command to whatever I've clicked. So what's going to happen is, based on the type that I've made, you know, I would be like, okay, this is the, let's just say this is going to be the pump. And you would click that. So now I know when I go into the editor, I'll have a drop down that's like, all right, this is the pump, or this is the, you know, the neck, whatever, for like cutting stuff. Peni or bobas? No, I thought about it, and just having a, I mean, maybe, we'll see. It depends on how easy it'll be for me to add clothing. Because obviously nude would be how you do it. So I'm thinking what I would do is have like a nude setting where it's like you're naturally naked, but you can go into options and turn it on, and what it'll do is there's like clothing, like just a bra and underwear, that would already be on the player, or already be on the character. It would just be invisible, and it would just turn that on. So we'll see. But public type. So in here I can be like, okay, switch type. So based on whatever I've set in the editor, I could say if my case is type.pump break, we're going to require an item. So I could be like string item ID, and then that would be you know, send item ID to embalming runner, and then then from the embalming runner, I would then take that item ID and be like, okay, you know, it'd be through some function like you know, step, like pump step or something, pump step, and then I would send the ID. And then from there, I would have a function on the embalming runner that steps through the pump, right? And it's sort of like, okay, I've clicked that. It checks to see if I have the item in my inventory. And if I do, it will send pump step with the ID, with the item ID. And then, in embalming runner, we then jump to here, and there would be a public void pump step, and it would require a string of item ID. And then we would just do stuff with that. So I would then check and be like, okay, I've gotten one of the items I need. So, okay, check that off. And now I've gotten the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Okay, I've got enough. On to the next step. And then I would step over from the pump thing to, or from the mix to pump. So then that sets it. So now when I interact with it, instead of mixing, looking for mixing ingredients, it will then be like you can switch it on. So yeah, I mean, the way I'm using it, yes. You know, I use switch statements for tons and tons of shit, right? But in this case, I'm taking something and being like, okay, in the editor, step pump, what are you doing? So in the embalming process, there is a pump that you use, that you put the liquid stuff into to make a mixture, and then you connect the tubes to the arteries in the body, and then you turn the pump on, and it will pump the embalming mixture into the body, right? So that's what that's for. It's a, you know, obviously it sounds weird, but for me it makes sense. So anyway, on the embalm where I have veins here, it's actually a invisible little collider box that's a trigger that is on my interactive layer. Basically, there's another script that is always sending out a raycast from the camera's center point to check for things on the interactive layer. And when it finds that, my little crosshair changes. And when I click, it'll send that activate command that I have in that interface I was talking about. And then I can go to here and be like, okay, this is the neck. So now I know this will need to get, obviously this will all need to get much more cleaned up and make sense, because it's going to be different things that'll happen, but it's going to be like, okay, this is the neck for creating the incision or adding the tubes or whatever. So when you click it, it will do whatever neck is, right? Let's say do neck stuff. So, you know, when I click it, it'll do that. So I would have, in this case, you know, finish body, it'll say happy ending had, and then step to the next step through the clipboard manager. Select the long, no, you need, it's going to be something that's going to require those specific items, and on your checklist, as you get them in there, it'll check off on your little clipboard. And once you have them all, it will step, just like in the prototype. I do it in the prototype where you have to gather the different embalming ingredients and add it to the pump. And then once that's done, you'll be able to move to the incision in the neck. That's exactly what's happening here. I want to recreate that stuff in the prototype. So that's what's going on here is you're collecting those things. And then this script is going to require those items, or at least it's going to check to see if you have it. And if you do, then it's going to talk to the embalming runner here and be like, hey, I've got this item, boop. And then it's going to record all of them and be like, okay, I've got everything I need, on to the next use of me, you know? So you basically can't move on to the next step until you've gotten all the ingredients. And there will probably be things like, I'm thinking you'll be like out of something and you'll have to go get like it's not going to be like in the prototype where it's just like the little bottles. Like some of the things will be like that, but there's a lot of these chemicals in these places. So I'm thinking you're going to have to go to like the little storage room and get like a big like 3-gallon jug that you need to take in with you and put in, you know, sort of like a restocking kind of thing almost, but we'll see. But that's what I'm building. Let's see. I should actually have something that would be inventory manager. Inventory item. Oh, dot minus dot. Do I have a check? Item check. So I would check for item ID. And this would be the string that I enter in here. And this should just return a bool, I think. Yeah. So I would be like, if my item ID. So if I got it, then we're going to do this other shit here. Right. So in here, I have a, like my other item prefabs here. Take a look. Items. So I have like my my matches here. You can see I've got this little script on here. It's got matchbox. It's just an item interact and an item object. And I have a scriptable object that basically has all my information here. So you can see I've got the item ID. This is what I would require on the pump, right? I'd be like, okay, I need item ID, item MB for, I need matches to do this. So it would require that, but I would come here. This scriptable object is what holds its item ID, its icon that shows up in the inventory, its in-world object. So if I drop it, the interactive version will appear on the ground so I can pick it up again. And then a preview object, which is the one that goes into the actual UI renderer. So it doesn't have any of the scripts on it or anything like that. And then there's some extra piddly stuff here that's just the rotation and scale factor that I want to add to it for displaying in the UI. Usually I don't need to do anything, but sometimes I might want to have it display a certain way at a certain size because it's a particularly small item or something like that. And so that information is there. But so I would just add a new one here That would be create an item, and this would be I don't know. We'll do tube. Yeah, tubing. So this would be tubing. So it'd be item, tubing, whatever. And then we pull an icon for it. We'll do D-pad, sure, why not? And then we assign all these things. And then I can just, pull out any old art and apply that item script and then choose the item object that I want. And it'll pull all that information from it. So that's like these matches right here have this script that then pulls from that. How did Kohate do? I mean, it did fine. It paid for everything that I spent to make it, and managed to pay for some tools, and paid for a little bit of Bill's stuff. So, given the fact that it was made in a couple months, with the sole purpose of having something small and simple out for Halloween that only cost $5, I mean, I think it did all right. But I mean, it's not like it's gonna make shit tons of money, or it didn't. However, it is another game that I can give to people or package with things or charge. People are still buying it. Some people bought it today. So, it's about the best you can ask, other than enough to live on. If it doesn't make enough to live on, you can at least ask that it makes what you spent on it back. And I've been what I've been doing lately is trying to use the money that I get from like Patreon and some of these sales that I took the bulk of the money that I got from like Our Secret Below and what was left over from the Kickstarter and Kohate stuff. I just threw all that in the family bank account. That's living money, right? And while I don't I'm not the breadwinner, it was definitely a helpful amount of money. So that was good. But did it pay for your own time too? I don't know. Depends on what I quote at. I don't know. Let's see. How much it made? It made 3,000. So, see, it took me 2 months, and I don't work on weekends. So let's see. How many days is that? 10, 20. So 20 days, 40 days. 40 days, let's just say times 12 hours just to even out. So 480 hours. That's $6.25 an hour. How terrible. But no, having an indie game that actually pays for your time is very rare. Here's the asset source, still going on for a ton of stuff. Yeah, that was what I was just about to say. All the money that I've been using, I'm trying to buy things that will be usable in multiple projects and help me create things faster to a better quality. I'm trying to step away from doing absolutely everything myself, and I can't really afford to just hire other people, right? I don't have enough money for that. I do it for music and voice acting, and I'd love to do it for other things, but I just don't have the money for that, right? So I'm trying to invest in tools that will allow me to free up, like basically character creation stuff, animation stuff, things that will help me create things faster, that will let me get to the coding and game development part, So with only the demo, or do I? No, you can solve it with just the demo. It's just for the demo. That's all it is. If you could spend, yeah. Don't have spent too much on assets. Yeah, I really I didn't go buying like a ton of assets that I didn't buy a bunch of art assets because I just don't. While I definitely don't mind the idea of buying art assets, I don't want to load up on art assets and then be like, oh, I'm never going to use this shit, Instead, it's stuff like, different controllers or some sort of, maybe if I wanted a special audio manager, or I got Final IK when it was on sale, you know, things like that, where I won't have to do these things myself in the future, you know? Also, a lot of the art on the asset store is not exactly what I'm looking for, you know? It's like, unfortunately, with the art that's on the Unity asset store, at least, it's like, it's just real easy to look like an asset flip because it doesn't quite have that extra oomph, right? It doesn't have that extra quality layer that I feel a lot of games need. Yeah, the main reusable system you have is your brain. Ooh. We all have the power. I mean, there's like, let's take a look here. There's this one. What is this? HQ abandoned building. Oh no, it's this. I think it's the same dude that did the HQ house. No, this is the next one. This is the next HQ house. Oh, that's kind of gross though. Oh boy. I wonder how much this guy makes off of these. Because this, I'm pretty sure this is the same guy, Not Lonely. Yep. There it is. He made HQ Residential House that an entire game jam is based off of. Oh boy. And then, yeah, everything else is kind of like, I mean, his stuff is good, but obviously because it's good, people buy a shit ton of it, and everything's kind of like that. And if you go, let's see, like I went old building because obviously I want like old spooky places. But let's see. Old pub, does it have an interior? It's like, no, see, that's just pictures. This is like, it's a lot of sort of novice level stuff for the most part. I mean, there are gems, but not many. And And the quality varies greatly, which is the issue as well for when if you were trying to make a game, this is what makes something look like an asset flip right now, is if you were trying to make a game just with stuff off the asset store, you're gonna get things that are, I mean, this whole thing, it looks like maybe you shouldn't be up close with it because it's low poly. But then they have stuff like this where it looks like the texel density looks like it's meant to be up close, so it's a little confusing. But anyway, it's like you get that, and then say you're trying to fill out a town. It's like, well, all these things have different qualities, different texel densities, different, slightly different stylistic approaches, and you're not going to find everything you're looking for. So you're going to be like, okay, here's Ruined Building 5 from the same guy, but then I look at these and it looks different than this one, you know? Hey, Divine Dev, what's up? Have you applied for dev license for Nintendo? Yes, I supposedly have Switch access, but you know what? Let me check again, because I supposedly have the access, but I haven't been able to actually get to the proper portal. Let me sign in again, because I thought I didn't have it because I don't have portal access to the. Okay, gotcha. To the Switch. Like dev stuff, but then when I go there, it's like, you have access. I'm like, oh, okay, how do I do that then? So let me go to developer support. Nintendo, yeah, see, I got Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. And when I go to, I think it's what, getting started, I think it is. Where is it? Yeah, Nintendo Switch access request. I click here. Your Nintendo Switch access request has been reviewed and approved. Now you should be able to view/access all Switch content in Nintendo Developer Portal. But when I go there, I don't have it. So I need to get in touch with them. Maybe, Maga. I haven't gotten to make anything, so I have no idea. But how you doing, Tobias? It's been a minute. I've been away. It's nice to be back. I think I'm just gonna have to reach out to them and be like, hey, you say I have access, but yeah, I only have Wii U and 3DS. No one wants either of those. And there's like no easy way for me to talk to them. Let's see, there's a regular contact, but I feel like that isn't the same thing. Please don't send any unrelated inquiries or ideas to these contact or ideas. Development questions. I suppose. Okay, hold on. Here's a support email. Nintendo of America. Okay. Yeah, I can email them. I'll try that. Old Lady Toes. Oh, well, oh, she's not in here right now. I got her in Substance. He's not wrong, though. There were plenty of Old Lady Toes in here. Boy, here we got Church Interior. So, alright. I mean, come on, man. Like, how's it look up close? Alright. It's real tough for me, as an art guy. Like I said, I want to try and step away from too much like artistic responsibility. I mean, I'm gonna have all of it still, obviously, right? But I want to be okay with using stuff, because I want to be making an entire game, so I need to be okay with that. But it's like I'll see things and be like, you know, and it's like, well, that's not exactly the quality I'm going for. So do I just settle? You know what I mean? Like, do I just settle then and be like, okay, this isn't quite the quality that I want, but it's okay. So then I get some stuff that's okay, and then I go looking for other props, and I'm like, oh, like no props exist for the thing I want. I guess I'll make my own. Well, now do I just kind of dumb it down so that it matches the thing I got, or do I up the other stuff that I got? You know, it's just kind of not worth it. To asset flip a game, you would have to throw away all the textures and just use it. Yeah, and that's honestly, anyone that has been in this stream long enough knows anytime I've gotten any sort of asset from somewhere, that's what's ended up happening, is I have just retextured Geo. I've basically just used it as a shortcut to not have to model something, or I've remodeled it and just been like, you know, screw it, this isn't worth it. There was one where I used that, like that couch in our secret below, was awful, so I had to remodel the low poly, then use freaking X normal to transfer those textures onto my new low poly. So I was still using their 4K texture to try and get the stuff that they had, but I was baking it to like a 1024 and still getting pretty much the same look because their UVs were so bad. They made no sense, and it's like, how much effort would it be to do that? It depends on what the asset is. Like, I've gotten like that car. The car in Mortuary Assistant started as an asset from Turbo Squid. Now, I basically remodeled a whole lot of it, but it saved a lot of time not modeling the car from scratch, because I've modeled cars from scratch. I hate doing it, and it takes a long time. So I was able to clean up a lot of Geo and make this car, right? Now, there was stuff I needed to model myself still, but ultimately I was able to take a lot of stuff and clean it up, and it saved a lot of time. So it's really a balance of like when I was looking at that church, there are all these pews and everything that were like, they're okay. But when you look at the geo, you're kind of like, that's not going to take that long to make or texture. So maybe I should just make it, you know? It's tough. Yeah, dude, that couch sucked. I would say it's a mix. It's a 50-50 split, Twitch Dog. Turbo Squid has a lot of game ready stuff. Well, game ready, quote unquote. The same way that these are all game ready. Yeah, it's not its only market. Absolutely not. I know architects use it a lot for their renders. We used it at Disney for stand-in stuff. Like we would be like, okay, find, traffic lights and all the basic stand-in stuff, and you'd get, $50 worth of stuff just all in a big bucket, and Disney would be like, and then you'd go place all these things, and then you would remodel everything eventually, or if it was okay, you'd just fix up some stuff and retexture it. But see, then I have like a batteries pack here. I don't need fucking batteries, but this looks like this seems fine, It's like cool iridescent shader on things, neat. Appreciated. Correct license to use? Well, on the Unity Asset Store, it's part of it. But then Turbo Squid has it listed on the right what the license is for that. But anyway, you can see just from the stuff we've looked at that the quality varies greatly. And then you've got like this, and it's a single house of this quality. This is the other major issue, where you find something and you go, you know what? For the type of game I'm making, where maybe you're far away or something, this is fine. This is great. This looks like what I need, But find everything else like this, right? If you have like say you're doing an RTS and you need little houses like this guy and this guy right here. Okay, you found a couple, but what if this one is modeled well and uses like a 1024, or maybe it's far away and it's like a 512 or something, and then this one's modeled poorly and uses a 4K texture for everything, right? And its poly count is way higher. Now you've got two things that are similar in style, but are very different in terms of usefulness, right? And you've got that all over the place with stuff on the asset store, and it kind of sucks. No, Megapixel, I'm just going over my hatred for a lot of art on any of these sites, and how it's a love-hate, right? I love the idea of being able to just be like, oh, forgotten house, I'm gonna grab that, there's my spooky house, and then you look at it and it's like, yeah, that looks nice. You get it in and realize it doesn't have an interior. Okay, great. But then you get it in and realize that these bricks right here are not actually modeled in. They're all flat and they're super low res because everything's trying to be packed on a single texture. Let's see if that's true just looking at this. And then I'm gonna stop, I swear. We're buying batteries. All right, let's see here. Let's let it load. Load up. But let's get nice and close here. See, so this isn't a first-person quality thing, right? And this is the problem with, I mean, it's good they have the Sketchfab stuff now, but also the materials, like, I don't know what material that is. That is a very shiny whatever that is, The bricks are all very shiny. But you look at it and you're like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. What are you talking about? The moment you're in first-person mode, you're like, bleh, And so you could argue, okay, it's not meant for first person. Okay, well then what's it meant for? Like, I'm playing a game third person, I guess. I'm still getting like this close, and I'm still seeing like all this, right? When my camera swings up by it. So maybe I'm meant for RTS, but then these textures are too high res for RTS. So what am I for? What am I for? I don't know. What is my purpose? Also, things like this where there's so much depth implied, At least this is modeled in, but it's like you're gonna come up to this, and it's like, well, where's this? What is? Yeah, it just, yeah. You know what I mean? It's nothing is ever fully bad, but nothing is ever what you need, and that's a huge issue, right? So That's why I'm in this weird thing with art, and why the stuff that I buy when I go to the asset store and things like that are things like I try to buy tools that will make my process faster, and I try to buy systems that will allow me to like maybe do shaders in a cool way, or like there's a rope and liquid physics thing that I got, so I don't have to do crazy weird VFX for that. And it's like, you know, I haven't used it yet, but I know it's there, and if I want to use it, I have it. And I got it on sale a while back, right? And so that's what I try to buy when I buy things. What's my art? Have you looked at Kitbash 3D stuff at all? They used to be near unusable. It was all crazy high detail stuff and no interiors, but they started to make them available in a game ready format. I haven't looked at it. I'm always wary of stuff that's like, it's game ready. It's like, you know, they're like, oh, it's 50,000 tries, it's game ready, and it's like a book, you know? It's like a book that's 50,000 tries at a 2K texture. It's like, unless you're making, you know, book clicker for PC, what's the point? So I'm just joining after months here. Which game you're working on? This is Mortuary Assistant. And I was building, working on the system for embalming. For the embalming helper, I've set up some basic stuff here. So if it needs an item, I'll have that. I have which type of item interaction. I have an item interaction script already, but I need a specific one that is going to interact with the embalming dude. Like the embalming script. And I need to grab that somehow. I guess I could just take all the items and just manually apply it, but that kind of sucks a big old bag. I'll just make it required or something. Don't they use tags? What do you mean? Like if something is like a certain way, yeah, but I'm saying that their definitions of what's game ready and what's, you know, appropriate for certain things is rather askew. I had a hard time feeling confident with the Kitbash stuff. Just wasn't presented well, in my opinion. Maybe they've changed that. Argus, that is a huge problem where presentation wise you can look at something and be like, oh, all right, cool, all right, but you're still gambling, right? You're like, that was like, again, the fucking couch, you know, it's like, it looks decent enough, you're like, this looks high quality enough, okay, I can work with this, bye. Oh great, it's a huge mess. It's like UVs are bad, texel density's off, the poly count is super high for what it is, and it's like, now, and it's pulling like 3 materials into memory that are all 4K textures, right? Yeah, I don't like that. That's why I end up making so much shit myself, because at least then I can build stuff on atlases. I can compose stuff in a way that is helpful to me, and if I want to do something unique, I can. And then if I'm like, okay, I need a special, like I need a piano that's really nice, then at least I can find a piano, right? And look for that. Like I need something that is very specific and it's uniquely unwrapped and everything, then we're good. But man. What? Anyone worked with Unity ML? Sell it back to the person and be like, here's a good version. I want a 5% cut. 25% cut, 30% cut, 40, final offer. All right, so I can keep making things. I think it's, let's see, if I want to start stepping into embalming, I'm going to need to start making the actual assets that you use. I think I'm going to need like a character to work with. We might be heading back into artistic territory, which is kind of neat. Because we're getting to the point where I'm going to need things to work with again. Cast shadows, you big old jerk. Prop sheet 1, what's on you? What are you all about? Whoop. Okay, so we got the pump. And then, okay, it looks like this whole thing's used. I got my clipboard. It's mostly the pump. What is this thing? It's something. What are you? Oh, you know what? It's these. It's these guys. They got their labels and stuff. Actually, that's all dirty. What is that? What are you? Why do you exist? Do you think your graphical standards are influenced by your time in AAA, or are they realistic for how indie games should normally be? Little column A, little column B. I think it does not. I think if you are knowledgeable, being able to create something that edges more towards AAA actually isn't very difficult. It's just how you use the tools and everything. Like, you guys have seen me create things on here relatively quickly, right? And it a lot of times doesn't take more than a day. More in-depth things like characters and stuff like that can, or if I want to sculpt something for like this, if I want something more ornate, it would take a little more time. But I think it's a mix of your creative choice in terms of the style, your ability, and I guess just time, like what you're willing to do. That's pretty funny. I like it. This display, yeah, I've been one. I like display. I'll probably get some stuff from them when I move. But Ice Krieg, I think part of me is always like, oh, I should lower the standards across the board a bit. It would be faster to create. But then when I go into actually modeling something and making it like a lower quality, it really doesn't take any more or less time. I'm just doing it differently. Like, I'm just not using a wood texture well, you know, instead of like using it in a way that I think looks a little more appropriate. It doesn't take any more time. Now, if I'm going all out like, PS1, that's a different story, you know, because you can just take pictures of shit and pixelate it. You get the right materials, the right shaders on stuff, and it can start looking, proper. And then it's really not. I'd say you could pump out stuff a lot faster then. But again, that comes down to skill in terms of like time that you've spent making that stuff. Because if you're a newbie, you're still not going to be able to create that stuff super fast. But yeah. All comes with practice and time, as with all good things. All right, so we need to put together a list for this because I need items to work with to start making the embalming process happen. So, embalming items. Here's where we get crazy tomorrow because we have 10 minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna start putting together a list of all the different things I need and how I want that to work. Because this is like the meat of the game now, is the embalming process. Either get an A+ or an F. Getting a C will require just as much effort as an A+. Essentially. I see where you're getting at, yeah. Because yeah, I get asked, a number of times, like, why not just make things simpler? And it's like, really, if I'm going to make a room, say I'm going to make a room like this, right? And I still want it to have tile here. I still want it to have trim. I still want to do all those things. Well, all right, I still have to model all this. Okay, so it takes about the same amount of time. I still have to texture all this. Okay, so I go into Substance and I slap a white on it. And maybe I don't care if it looks damaged or whatever. Okay, I've gained a couple minutes of time because I could, like, when I do this stuff, I'll just throw a paint material on it and I'll throw a grunge on it and then chip away at this, and it's taken a couple minutes more, and now it looks like this instead of, just a flat white thing. And then I'm still doing lighting. I'm still doing all the same stuff. Why not just make it simpler? I think a lot of people don't realize that what I'm doing is actually very simple in terms of what you would make for like AAA stuff and everything. Like I'm not sculpting everything. I'm not making high polys for everything and baking everything out and doing all of these like super like fancy techniques. You know, I'm doing a lot of trim sheet shit. I'm doing a lot of things that once I make this trim sheet, I can just throw it on everything. It takes no effort then. So it's kind of like, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take much more to do this. And stylized can take longer. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely, stylized can take longer. I think people look at like a stylized form like say Fortnite or WoW or something like that and be like, oh, that's simpler. It takes less time. No. You're still working really hard to pull that look together and do it cohesively across the entire game. Modeling the same process, yeah. Low poly style equals pay attention to silhouette. Realistic style, pay attention to silhouette. Yeah, you're doing the same stuff. Yeah, it's the exact same process. None is taking really like, longer than another. Like I said, I think the PS1 retro style can be faster if you are competent in your modeling ability. Like if you can model this sort of stuff and you learn the ins and outs of modeling PS1 stuff, like the style of it, I think then you could become very fast at it, because then it's exactly what Divine's saying, where it's like you're just getting the silhouette, and if you can nail that down, then it's way less polys and you're just going boop 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 boop, and you're making it rather than doing a bunch of geo and having to sculpt stuff and all that. And then you take a picture of someone's face and put it on there and like rub out detail and then pixelate it, and you're pretty good to go. Do you have experience in Substance Designer? Yes, but not a ton. And it's been a very long time since I've been in there too, so I would say I'm in no way like a Substance Designer pro. I can't like teach someone about it right now. I'd have to get in it and mess with it for a while. There's some really cool stuff I've seen though. This guy on Reddit put a like a facade, building facades pack up, where it's like, you know, just a bunch of different things with like windows and columns and stuff. And there's some beautiful displacement map work going, and it's just amazingly cool. And because it's in Designer, it's got like all these sliders and things you can adjust, as long as it's not just like people taking pictures and then drawing in, you know, height map detail, which, you know, you can do, but it's like, it can be super powerful. Yeah, Designer's a pretty big beast. I even argue that most people can't stay within poly budgets to warrant a faster low poly style. Yeah, I would agree. My customers mainly, do you need to start with a stock texture for making textures, or can you procedurally generate like rocks? Yes, you can procedurally generate. There's some amazing tutorials out there you should totally check out. Like I said, I'm not a huge tutorial person, so I don't have any off the top of my head. But for something like Substance Designer, it's so massive, just bumping around in it won't do it justice, so you kind of have to do tutorials. But there's some crazy stuff that you can generate. Like when I was just getting into it, I had made like a basic wood floor texture, and I was just blown away by just being able to do things with sliders once I had made it all. The stuff I could expose in Substance Painter afterwards was just fucking awesome. Thought it was cool. So yeah, I would love to get back into it. I need to purchase the latest of both of those again before I do, because I'm way behind. I'm like 2018 Substance Painter right now. Oh yeah. Speaking of the devil. So here was the old lady before I've decided to go the route that I'm going to go for characters now. So I had textured her, or I had sculpted her, and then did the low poly, and then unwrapped. And this is the bake result. And this is on a 2048. And Happy New Year, everyone, yes. And there's our gross feet. You see it needs a little cleanup there. But overall, came out all right. She has teeth, she do. And then her hands. Nice, gross, weird hands. Old people hands. Little old belly. So I sculpted all this, and then that's when I was like, once I did all this and brought it in here and started texturing, I'm like, this is gonna take forever to do all this, even 3 times, just 3 times to do the different bodies. Because then in addition to this, while this took, you know, all together it took about a week, maybe a little less, I still have to rig and then do morph targets, facial anim for like every type of facial animation. If I want to look good, that's going to take a very long time, and I have to do that for every character. So I'm like, I need a different process. So I've decided that I'm going to be just leaving this. I'm just going to scrap her, and I'm moving on to messing around with what is it, Character Creator 3, and see how that goes. Because I need to start thinking in terms of what's going to let me achieve what I want with a faster turnaround. Because I can't, you know, I can do all of it. I mean, obviously, you guys have seen I can do all the different things, but it just takes so much longer. And the quality, you know, could be varying if I'm not careful. So, oh, that one on there is a procedural skin. I just haven't added more. This one's it's just one procedural deal. And I could do more smart materials and mask stuff out, but the problem is there's still lots of detail that doesn't come through on these things that you would still need to paint in. There's a lot of like color variant stuff and like underlying like veins and all kinds of gross things. Bruising and things like that. You'd still want to paint all that in, and I'll probably still be doing that with what I make in other tools. I'll probably still be bringing them in, but it'd be layering on top of what's already there, as opposed to making a bunch of stuff from scratch, you know. Procedural boobs I'm a go-to. Why's everyone like the boobs so? Everybody loves making sure that there's booby physics. Y'all boob crazy. I mean, they're good, but still. Boobs are good, but yeah. That's just my opinion. Not everyone thinks boobs are good. Yeah, if I can find some sort of marriage of like generating something and then bringing it in substance and doing touch up and making it look the best that it can, I think that's a better route to go. It's going to save me time. Because then it comes with like, morph targets already, and there's cool stuff I can do like mocap facial animation with my webcam, where it's like I could act out the lines for the VO, and then that would play the morph targets on the character, and I can record that and use that as an animation. Like that's all stuff that would save tons of time. I went the iPhone route for the mocap, like full body. Yeah, I haven't seen any, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but I haven't seen any full body mocap on phones or any camera based stuff yet that I've really been impressed with, you know? Just for, oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, we'll see what I end up doing for that, but for now, it's like I got stuff to do characters and animations, and that's already a huge thing, and I'll have morph targets, and then I have Lip Sync Pro in Unity that I use, so I'd still be able to do it. I'd just be doing it in Unity, and it's more hand-based stuff, but still far easier than what I was embarking on, so I think it's better. All right, I put in, yeah, it uses depth camera data. Yeah, well, I've got I don't have an old phone, but I don't think I've got any 3D stuff on there, like depth stuff, so it wouldn't work for me anyway, because I also don't have an iPhone, so All right, let's find someone to raid because I gotta go. It is 5 o'clock. I spent a lot of today talking, but it's the first day back, so that's understandable. And please forgive me for all my ramblings. Let's see, who's up? Who's up and running? Where's anyone? Now we got Darnus doing some painting. I'm gonna throw you a Darnus. I haven't done that in a while. How dare you speak? Fixing a couch? God, yeah, fuck that shit. Never again. Never again. I'll make my own couch. It'll be way better. My couch will be the best couch. Okay. Hopefully you navigated through and got the for export or pipeline version. Yes. Yep. Yes, I got the pipeline version. Yep. And all that stuff. Should be good to go. But yeah. All right. Time to do all the things. Check out all the social stuff and check out Mortuary Assistant. There's a prototype you can play. And finally, you can check out Patreon and support me by throwing money at me for basically nothing in return. No, yeah. there's interaction stuff on there. Check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right. We are going to raid Darnus Art, so please join in the raid. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. It's been a great triumphant return to the internet after 2 weeks. I hope everybody had a fantastic, safe, and wonderful holiday, and may 2021 not be such a goddamn dumpster fire. Everybody, I will see you tomorrow in the morning. It's a morning stream at 9 a.m. Central Time. Super sharp. I'll see you then. All right, bye everybody. Stick around for Darnus. Love you. See you tomorrow.
Oh my god. That sound is so loud. Hey, what's up? Brian, thank you so much for the host. I appreciate it, buddy. Oh my god, so many of you. I'm just doing thumbnails. I'm not doing anything special. Hope your new year was good. Hope you got some good presents. Thank you so much for the host.